get into the Illuminati, cause we want to get invited to the coolest parties by subtly communicating hidden symbology. Soon we'll be part of a secret society.
Hollywood will open up its doors for us. We'll meet the inner circle of executives.
We'll give a guy a risky in a warm jacuzzi, and the guy will put us in a Disney movie.
Then they'll play our music on MTV. We'll be given designer clothes for free.
And we can drive everywhere DUI, cause we'll be under the protection of the all-seeing eye.
And we'll never have to worry about bills again, cause the Rockefeller family will be our best friends.
We'll fuck a squirrel and finger a fish, and triangle, triangle, eye, pyramid. You can be rich and famous too.
I love the establishment, yay! We want to get into the Illuminati, and we want to hang out with Jay-Z and Beyonce.
We want to sell our souls in 1 billion records and bow before our reptilian overlords.
Then the enlightened few will bring us into the fold,
where we'll be told secrets of old,
like why the CIA killed JFK,
and why on earth the moon landing was fake.
Being Illuminati will be so much fun. We'll learn the truth about Area 51.
They'll tell us where flight MH370 is, and which politicians like to fuck kids.
We'll get 1 million followers on Instagram. We'll have the whole wide world in our hearts.
The Rothschilds will take us to Bohemian Grove, where it's likely that we'll both be murdered and cloned.
Let's manipulate the economy.
War is good for humanity. We'll be given the keys to unlock the Bible, and we'll become Lucifer's loyal disciples. We'll pray to Baphomet and the princes of hell.
We'll bathe in pig's blood and cut ourselves
under the blood moon, beneath Satan's radiant energy, before the Dark Lord Lucifer himself. I invoke the 4 crowned princes of hell, inviting the forces of darkness to bestow their knowledge and power upon me. I, your faithful servant, promise to hide triangles in things, perform at the Grammys, and tell people the earth is round. From this day forth, I'll do whatever it takes to thwart globalism, multinational corporations, the establishment, and the military-industrial complex. I love fracking, it's the best. Let's go for some pizza.
What flavor?
Kitty flavor. We're gonna get assassinated for making this video.
More like initiated.
See, that's fucking funny. That's fucking funny. That's comedy that I understand. That's comedy that's like the dude on the left there was TBR if he'd made a few.
I couldn't believe it while I was watching it. I couldn't believe how much it looked like him. Oh my god.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, it's kind of uncanny. It's weird that he has that tinfoil hat phenotype for real.
That's unbelievable. So I'd not watched it through. I got that saved for a rainy day. Oh my god, dude. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Jord is here from the Math Squad Extraordinaire here to talk about Thomas Baden-Riess. We're going to do a welfare check.
I'm happy and sad to be here, Stephen, because I'm reluctant to be here. I didn't think this day would come. I didn't think I'd have to come. I thought this was dead and buried and in the past. I didn't think I'd have to come back to any point to talk to anyone about any of this.
So why are we here, Jord? What's the problem? What's the issue with our man Thomas Baden-Riess?
I'm gonna give you the long version, okay? So like, excuse me if I've if I go around I had the houses a little bit here. Like, feel free to rein me in, right? It's your show, but it goes a little something. Autism. It goes like full autism out the box. It goes a little something like this. About 2 years ago, when I was like fronting a show, I still am fronting a show, but it's not as big now because it got deleted as it was back then, called Meth Squad. Thomas invited me on his show, on his stream. Thomas Baden-Riess. To people, I'm sure everyone who's watching your channel is deeply up to date with TBR lore, right? Up until about 2 years ago, when Thomas Baden-Riess, one of YouTube's premier internet schizophrenics, one of the best, and I mean this I don't even mean this in an ironic, mocking way. I mean someone who, like, a genuine resource of like interesting insight about stuff like, I don't know, the Rothschilds, Freemasonry, secret societies, Bilderberg, Trilateral Commission type B. He invited me on his show a couple times, and then he went crazy and disappeared from the internet. That's like the sequential order of events. There are bits in the middle. There are other kind of weird things. I made a video. I think he thought it was about him. It literally had nothing to do with him, but he took it insanely personally. Then he made a video titled "I Hate Jordan and Edward Dutton's Misses." Because apparently one of the last Twitter exchanges that he got involved in before he lost the plot was with Ed Dutton's missus on Twitter, where she called him a conspiracy theorist, and he lost the plot. There is one person he's even more angry at / obsessed with than even me, and that is Keith Woods.
Who might be watching, by the way, because Keith knows about my channel now. So
that's even funnier. The fact that Thomas, right, invested so heavily in the idea that Keith was a communist, only for like many people to turn around and say, actually, Keith isn't that bad. He's just a kid who like wants, he's just like a left-wing socialist kid who cares about race or whatever. And Thomas kind of just it was Keith and conspiracy theorists over which Thomas lost the plot, I think, fully. And I think you see this in the fact that he's still drawing pictures of Keith from his Twitter alt account. And he has a YouTube account still called Keith Woods Supremacist, which you can search for. Where it's just
so we're dropping some secret law here, John. Most people aren't aware of this, so...
Well, yeah, the whole time he never went away. He just deleted his main 8,000 sub YouTube channel. He kept his backup channel. He kept his Odyssey. He started a TikTok, which I'm sure we will be looking at later. I mean, the guy's off the fucking wall. I've learned such a lesson here, Stephen, about who to collaborate. I mean, I didn't trust anyone to begin with. I was already cynical and extremely jaded and assuming everyone's a Fed. But now it's just like, oh, it's not just that everyone could be a Fed. It's that everyone could be a nutter as well. Now, listen, Stephen, I'm assuming that you... No, I'm not assuming. I've heard you say that he's a performance artist, that this is a cat because he used to be a stand-up comedian, that this is somehow a performance piece. Somehow this is
absolutely
art. Somehow this is comedy. You think he's trolling us all? This is some sort of 5D chess. To what end? I don't know. In fact, in what way you can even say that after some of the shit that's like... I guess you should tell everyone why we're even talking about this. I guess you should play them the voice message that is the research.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that first. So, George got a voicemail. What's the origin of it?
Just popped up in my Telegram, innit? From an anonymous account with the name of Brian.
Brian. Is there any significance about that name? No?
You can only really tell this TBR if you actually listen to it. Like I had to. It was only the second listen through that I was like, "Oh shit, it's Thomas Baden."
Right, so I've got to play it down my microphone, everybody. But we tested it just before the stream. It should be okay. So this is the message. Imagine being left this voicemail on your phone late at night. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. And I think this was in response to a post that you made or shared about Clossington, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Just for full context, Clossington, who's a really is a very funny. Clossington's known, I think, in our circles as being an ex-NRX guy turned meme. Like he's a big meme guy, and he's just getting recently, from what I can tell, into writing essays. I think he started a Substack. So I shared his Substack post, which was fucking interesting. I read about 3/4 of it, and I've pinned the rest of it. And I'm like, I'm gonna, that's actually good. It was just about the history of the Rosicrucians, Freemasons, Bavarian Illuminati, all these different groups, how they fought against each other and worked with each other in the Enlightenment and stuff like that. It had very, very little to do with. It had fuck all to do with Thomas Baden-Riess, but he somehow took it personally because it's about the Illuminati.
But it's stepping on his ground, isn't it?
Yeah,
on his conspiracy theories. A turf war here. He'd also done a video about Clossington in the past what I noticed on his Odyssey when I was looking earlier.
Well, he hates the NRX, right? Because the NRX in particular, the NRX tries to not that the NRX is. I'm not some NRX.
Tries to rationalize conspiracy.
It tries to rationalize. Yeah, it tries to be like, well, if there's a network, then maybe you could map the network. Maybe you could see the people. Maybe you could It's one step further than just the people who are name them. It's actually naming them. People's first and second names, that kind of shit. Yeah. And I think that if you're a conspiracy-minded person, that's fucking annoying because it's much easier to have just a nebulous enemy like the Shadow Elite. Or whoever the fuck, I don't know.
All right, let's play this. Imagine, ladies and gentlemen, you're just leaning back in your rocking chair late at night, about 11 p.m. This is the voicemail that gets left on your answering machine here.
Wait a minute, what's that, Jordan? Huh? You want your your parents to have their property confiscated. Huh? Huh? You want your parents to have their property confiscated? You want your entire family to be arrested? You want your entire family to be tortured? You want to fuck your mother on live television? You want your father to bum you on live television? You want your brother to bum you on live television? You want your baby's head chopped off? You want all of that, Jordan? Because that's what's going to happen to Clossington. Clossington's going to have all his property confiscated. His entire family is going to lose everything. And he's going to perform sex acts on the internet with his parents. He's going to be bummed by his father whilst fucking his mother. Do you know why? Because Lucifer is here. Sex, sex, sex.
Now, listen. I'm obviously laughing because this is fucking absurd. Okay, I'm obviously laughing because yes, this is funny. Okay, there's no getting around the fact that TBR is fucking hilarious, but he's also highly mentally unstable. Okay, remember that this didn't just come in the dead of the night from Thomas's mobile phone. This came from a separate account created with a different phone number called Brian. All right, can we just put this into perspective, please, for a second? All right, this guy is like off the fucking wall. Okay, now listen, Thomas has, I believe, in his head this idea that when the Rothschilds / Illuminati or whatever come to power, they're going to make him the king of the world. He's going to exercise justice on all the people who have wronged him. And people, I mean specifically people in the dissident right. Bro, can you go on my Telegram, or go on my shitposting Telegram and just click on the video that is on the same page as that? You don't even need the actual video, although if you can get the video itself, it's way better. But it's about him talking.
Well,
he's talking about how Keith. It's a video of him like ranting above that voice where you got that voice. I assume where you got that voice mail.
Oh, it's on his TikTok, isn't it? It's the latest TikTok. I've got.
Yeah, that's right. It's also on the yeah. But it's about how Keith Woods. He's basically holding Keith Woods responsible for COVID-19. It's so good, bro. It's like personal. Like it's beyond. And listen. TBR has a look about him of a kind of guy with like, we have this expression in Met Squad, right? We say nothing lost, nothing gained. Like if you have nothing to lose. Yeah, here, this one. Yeah, holy fucking shit.
Okay. Look, just before we do it, I think we need to do a couple of disclaimers, everybody, that for the benefit of YouTube, that we're dealing with a performance artist here, in my opinion. Okay, we'll get to that. And the things that are said here are not direct threats. This is a comedy skit, ladies and gentlemen, okay?
No, but this is the thing. This is the thing, Stephen. You justify, and I think he justifies his thing behind, like the mask, the veneer of like stand-up comedy is what kind of justifies the sheer insanity of the man. Like if he was a character, okay. If he really is a character, and this is like that, you know, the movie The Prestige, where the Chinaman does the fishbowl trick, and the real trick to the fishbowl trick is just pretending every day like you're an old Chinaman when actually you're not, so you can carry a fishbowl between your legs. If he's just doing the long game, if he's just playing the long game of like there never was a guy called Thomas Baden-Riess, then fair enough. But after this, I'm going to pull up his Amazon book catalog of the books he's written, and we're going to talk in depth about it.
Diary of a Toilet Goer or something.
Oh, it gets way worse.
Fucking sick of this shit.
Here we go, ladies and gents.
I am so fucking sick of this shit. More than 3 years of this total bullshit COVID fucking narrative, and that fucking filth bag Keith Woods is still out on fucking Twitter talking absolute bollocks as usual. I fucking hate him. I will never, ever forgive anyone who put me through this fucking shit, who put all of us through this fucking shit. I could see through this crap on the first fucking day, and 3 years on, more than 3 years on, it's still going on, and all the fucking idiots who talk rubbish are still fucking going and couldn't give a shit. I fucking hate them. I fucking hate Keith Woods. I hate his fucking family. I hope they're all fucking burn in hell. If I ever get the chance for revenge on these motherfuckers, they're all gonna be set on fucking fire.
Disclaimer, YouTube. Look, this is a performance artist. Comedy skit.
Bro, this is a man who doesn't have severe delusions of grandeur, narcissistic fantasies of power, that he's going to rise to power and he's going to execute Keith Wood's family on some sort of funeral pyre as a grand form of justice. Because Keith Woods, of course, created COVID-19, right? There's some logic there. There's some method in the madness.
Shall we finish it?
For the end of until the end of fucking time. All of them and everyone else, all the fucking scumbags in the mainstream media and mainstream politics that got this wrong, all the fucking people in dissident spheres who got it wrong, they all need to be set on fire, and I mean it to be a slow fucking burn. Not just some fire which will go out in 5 minutes or something like that. I mean fires which will last until the end of fucking time. Honestly, fuck the fucking lot of
I mean, bro, the only word that springs directly to mind is like unhinged, right? Like that's a mentally sane and stable person giving his take on current events. Like and you're gonna say to me like, nah, dude, this is part of his like upcoming Edinburgh Fringe tour. Like it's been 2 years, Stephen. It's been 2 years, radio silence on the Western Front. He went completely dark on his main channel. On his side channel, no posts. On his Odyssey, an occasional post. I think one post about, I'm sorry I was wrong, very defeated, mellow, black pill shit. And then to just pop up in my DMs, if this is his way of announcing a comeback, like, bizarre character. Am I wrong for hoping that we secretly get a return of TBR and he comes back on his main channel? Yes, because we shouldn't enable this kind of mental illness. But at the same time, it's Kino as fuck, and I would like to see more. So I'm torn.
So my contention, ladies and gentlemen, is that Thomas Baden-Riess is a performance artist, and what you see before you is like an extreme form of it. And so I think what we need to do, George, is we need to bear a few things in mind here in order to come to this understanding. We need to think about well, probably not the first, but the first time that I became aware that Thomas Baden-Riess was a performance artist was when he did my gran died of COVID incident. Do you remember that?
I feel like your interpretation of that is arse backwards. What I think
No way, dude. Come on, what's your interpretation of it?
He claimed his nan died of COVID. The Kiwi Farms people were like, "This is fucking hysterical. Let's do a lot. Let's do because and then he change his story as if he was joking the whole time, like kind of to try and troll the trolls, which may have worked. I mean, you seem to have bought it, but like in reality, wasn't he just having a mental breakdown in the original video? Aren't we dealing with a highly mentally unstable person?
No, we're not. This is the thing. Oh my god, I can't believe you fell for it too. So come on.
I'm sorry. I thought I was good. No, listen. I thought I was a good judge of character. I thought I was able to. I'm definitely not one of these autistics. I'm really good when it comes to body language and like subtle, whatever.
Right, we need to watch it again from the start, then, don't we? So you've got to put him in context as well. He comes out with this video. Vile trolls are abusing my recently deceased grandmother after spending a year streaming about COVID-19, calling it a hoax. Disclaimer, YouTube, it's not, and all this stuff, and railing against it all, that he'd never wear a mask, that it's all fake, and all this stuff. And then he comes out with this masterful performance piece, which was to essentially troll everybody, and it was a masterful performance. Surely you recognise it as such, George. We need to watch it, don't we?
Mate, I just think you're nuts. I think you're absolutely nuts. I don't know how you can just. I
think when we watch it back, you're gonna realise.
Look. You're thinking about from an isolated incident, right? Maybe in that one case.
No, it was a trio.
He's done other jokes before. He's done a 20-minute long impersonation of Keith that was very funny. He's done a 20-minute long impersonation of Claire that was very funny. I'm not saying the guy doesn't have comedic chops. He literally was a Edinburgh Fringe Festival comedian at one point, right? Before becoming more into the conspiracy theories. But I think that's the part of the story that you kind of leave to one side. And it's very convenient for him because whenever he says something, whenever he just has a moment and has a wobbly, he can then turn around and say it was all part of some elaborate fucking comedy sketch. But in reality, like, they were talking about a guy who went from almost full-time YouTube broadcasting to switching his shit off because he had an argument, like, because a couple of people called him a schizo. Like, I don't know, dude. How else do you explain the disappearance? Is that all just to make a super funny joke at the end of it? Because that's nuts to me.
So look, I think it's complicated. Basically, is the answer here. I think he does believe some of this stuff. I think he's also a bit of a schizo character as well. So, cards on the table. I agree with some of what you're saying, but I also think he's predominantly a comedic artist. I think that this is all a skit.
Well, he's not, but comedy, as I was saying before, comedy is not his only foray into the world of the arts, is it? Well, we're talking about a man who paints, and you can see. I always think that people's paint. I'm fascinated, for example, with the career of an artist called Lewis Wayne, whose work became better, arguably, but also more schizophrenic as his condition, got on with his progressed throughout his life. Thomas, I think you can judge someone's mental state from their art quite clearly, and I would encourage you all to go and look at Thomas Baden-Riess's art. And then I would say, like, you can look at his books, and I think they speak for himself as well. He has titles on Amazon. He seems to write these books but not market them, so they just sort of live there. So unless they are a joke in and of themselves, but they're called things like Diary of a
Toilet Goer.
Diary of a Toilet Goer. One of them is like Guide to Stalking or something. Why I stalk women or something. I'm not joking, bro. This is like ha 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 ha. Like everyone was laughing until the body bags came out. Like I didn't see ha ha ha. Like.
But I think we need to watch a bit of this video again. This was when I realized.
He's gonna get you, Jordan. Like people are like, oh, George's butthurt about it. It's like, no, I'm worried that I've been living in Thomas Baden. Don't you get it? I'm worried that I've been living in his head rent free. I'm worried that for the last 2 years, while I've been like getting on with my life, making content, making internet friends, doing new collaborations, he's just been sitting there seething about me and Keith Woods, drawing pictures of Keith Woods, and preparing for the day, for his, coiled like a cobra, waiting to strike. And I'm like, listen, I'm more worried. I am genuinely more worried for him than about him, believe it or not. But how you could mask all this shit under the guise of like comedy is kind of nuts to me.
Well, let's remind ourselves of this video, George. When was the last time we watched it? When it came out?
Oh yeah, to be honest, I probably only saw this once. Yeah, I remember the mask though. The mask is obviously ridiculous. Him sitting on the part of the bench. Yeah, I remember this. Okay. But
so you're going to tell me this isn't a comedy skit?
No, this is a comedy skit.
Right,
I'm saying, what is this in reaction to? This is in reaction to a video before this. If you go to the Wayback Machine or whatever, and you can find the one before this, which may not even be there, right? But this is in response to something. He's doing anyway. Play this video, and I'll probably remember what this is all about. But
so, yeah, this is on. No, this is the second of the trilogy. The first one was "Help Me Fund a Defamation Lawsuit Against Kiwi Farms." That's it.
Now, right. Now, hold on a second. Was that legit?
That's a skit too. Absolutely, 100%.
I don't know.
100%.
I don't know.
Anyway, let's remind ourselves about this, ladies and gentlemen. Is this real?
No, this is obviously not real. This is obviously not real. You're running crazy defense for him right now. This is him doubling down on the joke.
I wanted to make a brief video to you. I'm in a bit of a mess. I'm a little bit out of sorts here. I've just been crying. This is we're
See, well, this
outside
isn't
of-
someone trying to be a lol cow. This is someone making a mob. This is now someone leaning into it and being like, well, if they're going to make me a lol cow, I'll like do the lol cow bit and the joke will be on them, kind of thing. And like it was meta the whole time. But
Everybody fell for it though, George, didn't they?
Yeah,
Everybody fell for it.
because Kiwi Farms is a bunch of autist retards, and like, of course, if they went to war with TBR, I'm going to side with TBR. But my point is that this was in response to the original thing of like, I don't think he was joking when he said he was going to sue Kiwi.
Even his own mates, like Ben, the porter, condolences, mate. Very sorry to hear your sad news. Anyone who would exploit that for personal spite is evil. And he replies, "Thanks, mate. We'll be in touch about the live stream soon."
Okay, that is quite.
And no probs. Take your time. Look after your own well-being first. And he replies, "Thanks, mate." And that's one of his own mates.
That's
one of his own
But again, that's on the Odyssey. You got to remember when the YouTube was probably had a lot of views, he had a lot of attention from people during this time. It was, I think that first one. You watch the first one and tell me what you think. The I'm suing Kiwi Farms or help me fund a thing against Kiwi Farms, because I feel like he genuinely wanted to like take Josh Moon.
Kids, let me to.
Yeah.
Right. By the way, is that the eyes of a sane man?
It's performance artist, George. Come
no,
off
it's
it.
performance art. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
it's
it is.
3 a.m. The dog barks. There's some rustling in the bushes outside, and the face that emerges through the foliage is the. But it was performance art, Governor.
Just think about the one that you already agreed is performance art. We're doing the Super ADHD. We didn't play the other one yet, but you already agreed the other one was, and that was like about a really sick subject. I mean, can you imagine like going and standing outside a hospital in the middle of COVID and
Patrick
claiming
in
that
the
your grandma
chat. Patrick in the chat gets it. His Kiwi Farms arc always came across like playing them for extra attention to his channel. Absolutely, couldn't agree more. So that was what he was doing. It wasn't the Kiwi Farms thing. Wasn't necessarily the serious thing, but
It was
I
something
guess,
to do with Phil. It was something to do
yeah,
with Phil and
like
the 37 gang.
someone from 37 gang needs to come on this stream and explain to us in how y'all created this.
Oh, I remember now. I
think there's some psyoping
Phil was claiming
that has
he was
gone
a
on.
fake. He was fake. He'd never got a PhD. He's a liar and all this stuff. And so he started this trolling. Actually, the first video was Thomas Baden-Riess is a fake Jew, or is a Jew and a fake and has a fake name and a fake.
No, it was a fake Jew with a fake name. Yeah, because he was saying how he pretends to be Jewish and pretends to be upper class.
And then he obviously wrote that thread on Kiwi Farms about himself. Obviously. And then he did this 3-video arc. I mean, let's just watch a couple of minutes of this, and now with this in mind, think, is this for real or not? Come on. Bearing in mind, he wrote his own Kiwi Farms thread.
This is so meta, you know what I mean? Like, fucking hell.
Make a brief video to update you on a few different things which are going on. Now, I want to say this is not the best period of time for me. I'm very, very stressed. First of all, because there's a lot of different people online giving me shit for various different reasons. Second of all, I've got personal things going on. My great-grandmother is basically in hospital. You know, she's at her end, and this is causing a lot of stress for her, myself, and indeed the wider family. So this is not a great time, but I wanted to say a few different things which are important. Now, the first thing is this. There's been some good news. The good news is that some northern nationalist has taken down all of the videos in which I was slandered. Now,
do you think he's joking here?
In the end, I basically, I threatened him with.
This was he set Phil up, he trolled him, and came out the winner.
No, I want to hear this from the other side. Also, Hexagram 33 in the chat saying that TBR is upper class. Okay, firstly, with the name Hexagram 33, you are the most likely person to be TBR. Secondly, TBR is.
I know
not
that's a real person.
Class. TBR, you can hear in his voice. You can hear slips in his voice where his real accent betrays him, and it's not what you think. Okay, we need to get someone on here from 37. Can you put the link in the chat and just let one of these, Hemi come on here or something, and I just need to know how it goes from Phil because are you saying that basically because I don't understand how TBR is the 4D chess master of Phil exposing him that he has a fake PhD and he didn't really study maths and he isn't really like, right? Wasn't Phil's whole thing like TBR's kind of a nutcase who claims all this stuff that isn't true and he's a pathological liar and all this kind of stuff, and then didn't that kick off the whole thing?
Anyway, the links in the chat. I can't remember.
This could, yeah, you're living the dream. You're quite right. This could just be my Jewish paranoia tripping me off. But I think in reality, I think this is where it all stems from.
So I think he wrote the Kiwi Farms thread himself in response to what Phil was doing as well, to basically set Phil up to go and take that and run with it with a load of false information, basically.
No, how? Really? Like, really? And never make the video being like, lol, I trolled you. Like, he would just actually, I don't know.
He did kind of, I mean, it was obvious, wasn't it? You yourself know that the grandma thing was fake.
Yes,
and he's
the
talking about it.
Thing, but it's almost like doubling down. Like, how can I explain it? It's like if you're like, oh, George, you lied about this, and then I make a video being like doubling down on the lie and telling an extra massive lie that's so obviously a lie that it was a joke the whole time, you know? But it's like, no, dude, you lied about it originally. Like, originally it was fake. Your theory only works if he really did make the Kiwi Farms thread, which is the most funny outcome, by far the most funny. But is it actually probable? I don't know. I think he's enough of a lolcow to warrant a thread on Kiwi Farms. And it would be
and never another one again. And
for a guy to write 9 novels on Amazon and not market a single one of them to anyone, that is the most underground guerrilla PR marketing shit to create that I could possibly think of. The guy's he may very well be an artist, but he's not a very good marketeer. I'll tell you that, man. That is some next level. If that's true, I'll eat my hat and I'll take it all back. Also, TBR, who's clearly watching this, by the way, please call in. It would be great. This could be your comeback stream. This guy, we would, we'd support it. We'd support it. I mean,
I'll let you nuke my channel if you just want to go off on George. Okay.
Yeah. Also, I think Hemi might be in the chat. I think he's like, or what do you call it? In the.
Oh shit! Hold on. And we've got Lewis Wayne. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, no, I can sense that something important is going to happen on this stream, so I kind of want to be here where it's actually happening, you know? Also, TBR, if you are watching this, I have DM'd you on Telegram. Please open my DMs.
Excuse me, I'm just going to have a coughing fit. Fuck me.
And Hemi, welcome to the show. Do you have any lore that you can share with us about this? We can't hear you, by the way. You're muted. Let's play this.
Legal action, and
okay,
he duly took the videos down. I've also noticed that Alex Ryan has taken down his slanderous videos of me as well. So this, I will say, is a bit of news for all of us. Now,
yeah, we can hear you now.
The second thing that I wanted to say is that after the first video I did about this Kiwi Farms bollocks, some subscribers of mine, they came to me and they said, Thomas, you've never asked for money in the past 8 years. Why don't you set up a fund, ask for some money to, carry out a lawsuit against Kiwi Farms in order to get them to take the, the slanderous post about me down.
Yo, and TBR in the chat. Wait, pause it. Can you pull up this comment? This is TBR from Keith Wood Supremacist. Hey, at George. Capital J, capital O, typing too fast there. I'm busy with work at the moment, so don't have time to chat, but I'm enjoying the stream. Really?
TBR,
yeah, what's work, watching, TBR? No. Skinning animals in the woods? What's work? Huh?
No, TBR, please open your DMs on Telegram. I have DM'd you on Telegram. I'm trying to get something set up right now, so please do open your DMs.
Hold on, I have to check if this is actually him.
Yeah, who knows? It could be like Keith Wood Supremacist or whatever. It could be the wrong one. It's like, I love how we're trying to see if it's the real channel with 40 subs and not the fake channel with 40 subs. Like, fucking.
It is him, so
Yeah, of course it's him. I told you, I knew he would be watching right now. It's like the narcissism. Like, we all know he hasn't deleted his channel. We all know he's just minimized his channel. But for a performance piece that lasts a year, holy fuck, you know?
I mean,
anyway, the
is,
internet needs TBR now more than ever. But just maybe not this crazy incarnation.
The commitment to that, to like go 1 year with like a very sizable channel and not do anything with that, that takes insane balls and insane commitment to the
So I think he just got burned out. He just got burned out.
Okay, I tell you what. Pull up the. I don't have time tonight, I'm afraid. Another time though. Sorry to be nasty, George. Love you really. Yeah, no. See, that's not gonna cut it, right? That's not gonna cut it after. Pull this comment up, okay? This is not gonna cut it after the fucking after. Can we find the video titled "Why I Hate Jordan and Ed Dutton's Wife"? Can we?
It was a great performance artist piece, Jordan. You just don't appreciate it.
Don't you just love when
you don't appreciate good art? That's your problem.
No,
hang on.
This must
sir,
be a Gen X thing.
No, sir. You sound like the guy on like the Joker who thinks he's just like a comedian and then he gets shot in the face. That's what you sound like right now.
You know what you get? You get what you fucking deserve. All right.
Just a minute. You realise that in this apology to Kiwi Farms, I can't remember the name that he came up with, but he came up with some really obvious name for his lawyer.
See, I appreciate that it gets lost in the melee, okay? Because some of the stuff he does is genuinely funny, okay? But you know who else was genuinely funny and mentally unstable? Like every fucking comedian ever, okay? Robin Williams killed himself, all right? This is not. It doesn't justify, okay? Like. It doesn't make him sane just because it's a joke. Like, also, some of these aren't jokes, but we can get into it.
So performance artistry is that you don't break character, George. That's the thing that you're missing here. You can't break character, can you? You can't break the fourth wall.
He hasn't broken the fourth wall in like years. Like, that's insane dedication. If that's
okay, but dude, where does it start? Right? No. Because no. The channel the guy deleted. Okay, and this is why this lore is so important. Okay, the channel the guy deleted, is the thing that if it existed, I could say to you, right? At what point does it start becoming performance art then? Because he used to use it to upload his serious stand-up comedy routines. Then he made clickbait videos that he fronted himself, like presentation-style videos, titled things like "Why I'm a Bisexual." Or why I'm this.
The Kiwi Farms was the proof that he wasn't a schizo.
Right. So it was all
because he backed down.
When? So when
a schizo wouldn't have backed down.
Yeah, but in this, there's proof that this backing down is a skit. There's proof in it. If we watched it, there's proof in it in that he talks about his fucking lawyer.
Well, you're asking about the Phil law, weren't you? Basically, I think it was when Baden-Riess picked up with Brutus, he came on our radar. So then we started digging into the Kiwi Farms, realised this bloke's a massive lolcow. Like the bit about being in the park and coming back round to kick that woman into the bushes.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Stop defending it! Are you fucking?
He wrote the Kiwi Farms thread about himself. Who is it more likely to have written the Kiwi Farms thread about him? The guy with like 9 novels, or some random who just pops up, writes it, and is never ever seen again?
Yeah, a bloke who totally isn't me did this. Like, yeah.
Look, there's the Kiwi Farms thing, which is like a level above it, but there's just the basic thing of him, like, you know, I don't know.
Hey, wait, anyone notice it's weird, like, how quickly he found this stream? Like, has he, like, that implies that he's been, like, monitoring all these people for a very long time.
Well,
he does because he found Phil, didn't he? He found Phil quite easily as soon as he started streaming about him.
Bro, I'm convinced that he's several accounts in on Telegram. Like I can think of a couple of guys. It's not just Brian. Like I'm sure he's in a couple of like things. Like that's what I'm saying. He won't be in like our deep groups, but he'll be in the public groups. And like I'm saying, like it's just fun. It's just funny. He'll be in your 37 chat, for example.
I mean,
like, and I'm just saying, like he's around. And SJJ, tell me again how this is perfectly normal behavior from a performance artist. I'm just fascinated by this.
George,
let's think about this.
Hang on, George. According to you, he's not in the deep groups, but Meth Chat has like 140 people, most of which we have no idea who they are. So
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I can't screen people in there, but if he was in there, it wouldn't be the end of the world. But like I say, he'll be in any big group, any group with over 20 people. He'll be in it, like 100%. And like I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing. I'm just saying, like, tell me how this all plays into his elaborate drama comedy performance. Tell me when it stops being a man who's crazy on the internet and it starts being for the lols, please. Like, that's where I don't...
Right, so, George, would you go to Anthony Hopkins, who played Hannibal Lecter, and accuse him...
You're literally making this comparison.
I mean,
would you go to him?
He's a lot... No. Listen.
Would you accuse him of being insane?
This is a really good point. You are saying he's... You are saying he's Anthony Hopkins. I am saying he's Hannibal Lecter. Okay, this is the difference, right?
Yeah, but would you accuse Anthony Hopkins of being insane for having played Hannibal Lecter, even though the movie was so good and realistic?
There was a time, there was a set, there was a schedule, and there was a point where they went, "All right, that's a wrap," and everybody went home. When does it end, Stephen? When does it end?
Well, when the camera shuts off on YouTube.
Right.
No, but what's the end goal of this character, though? Like, if you're correct and this is a character, what's the end?
Great question.
Like, what's he trying to accomplish with this character? Like, is there like a specific political goal?
Bro, I'm not buying that it's a character. He's had the same YouTube channel for 8 years. 8 years ago, it was my latest set at the Edinburgh Fringe. Then it was videos a couple years after that, like 10 reasons why men prefer skinny women and 10 reasons why I'm a bisexual and whatever the trend was at the time. And then you could see, no. Don't tell me this was some fucking performance piece because it was just anybody's YouTube channel at that point. Then you could see where he got his foot into the whole Madeleine McCann thing, and you could see where he got his head into the whole Illuminati thing, and you could see the conspiracy theories take over. And you said it yourself, he really believes some of this shit, right? So
I think there's elements of truth mixed with performance art.
Normal people would call that delusion, and like when you can't separate various parts, like what's a joke from what's like not a joke, like that's not like fucking bro.
Like, hang on, the thing is, like, I'm neutral on this guy. Like, I don't really know the majority of the lore on him. But, like, if you play a character for long enough, you become that character, you know? It's like...
Shall we watch some of the TikToks? And let's see if he's playing a character or not.
It's fuck, to be fair. Like, his TikTok is funny. I was laughing my ass off the TikTok. The TikTok's only gonna, play the TikTok, but it's only gonna fuel your side of the argument because some of them are genuinely funny. That's the problem.
Well, exactly, and the characters are so good. I mean, George, when he's doing leaving the voicemail to you, I mean, are you telling me you actually think this is serious or what?
I think for that particular moment.
Wait a minute, what's that, Jordan?
I think for that, I think that's him, right? I want you to picture this, like he's completely naked, right, bollock naked in the shower on the floor. Shower's not running. Shower hasn't been running for about 20 minutes, but he's still dripping wet. He's leant over the phone, right, and he's using his pinky finger to hold down the record button so he can leave the voice note. It's not a character. It's not a character. He's there, and he's what's that, Jordan? You want your whole family to be right, and by the end of it, when he's caught up in a ball and he's going, Lucifer is here, like, bro, fuck off, is that character? The man's deranged. When he went schizo, the guys in Meth Squad, when he lost his mind, the guys in Meth Squad made fun of me for ages. They were like, "Oh, you Jew, Kabbalah magic, Thomas Baden-Riess, you drove him crazy." People actually gave me shit for making Thomas Baden-Riess quit the internet. I said I didn't make him do shit. He decided in his head that I was against him. He made a video titled "I Hate Jordan and Ed Dutton's Misses." Like, dude, if that's a joke, it's such a meta in joke that basically only you and him can appreciate it. Like, if it's an elaborate comedy piece that is just for you, Stephen, as part of some sort of gay love tryst that I'm not aware of, some sort of
I've never spoke to him ever, by the way. I've never spoke to Thomas. If he's in love with anybody, it's
How do you understand him so well then? How do you understand his comedy so well? If you
Well, I think there's too much to say to be able to analyze those videos. But if we watch them, like he did a video about my gran. Have you seen that one?
Yes. Yeah, but that was obviously a joke. That was obviously a joke.
But how many people got it?
With social skills who don't have autism. That's the thing. Half of his audience is autistic, right? So they're not going to understand ever when it's a joke. But
he never explained it. He never told everybody, look, that this was a skit.
Yeah, but you don't then just assume that everything else that he makes is a skit. That's giving him license to just like, I'll agree with it when I think it's serious.
That was fake. 99% of people who saw it wouldn't know that was fake.
That says more about the internet, I think, than it does about. But yeah, maybe.
No, and he never explained it, never told anybody, and it was kind of just enough to be real. That he my gran accused him of raping.
No, of course it's not fucking. Of course it's not fucking real. Okay. Because in that thing he said, I put. No, but in that video he made about your nan raping him or whatever it was, right? He even said in that video, I put a link in the description to Steven's channel. Go over there and tell him that I didn't touch his nan or whatever. Like that was clearly a fucking. And you could go over there quite easily and see that your last video was about him and it wasn't anything to do with his nan. And it was like for the autists, there was a little trail of breadcrumbs there for the joke to kind of. There was some payoff for the joke. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, maybe it's just me. But...
Do you guys think Ted Bundy was just like a comic character that like is just a joke? Do you guys think that maybe? It was just like an elaborate prank on society.
This week, in the continuing adventures of Spaceboy.
Can you just pause it for just a second?
Activate the Jewish.
Yep.
Activate the Jewish.
I was as well the Jewish. I know we have to play it now. Activate the Jewish. What? I'm sorry. I shouldn't have interrupted.
Space laser. And lock targets onto Israel. Activate the Jewish space laser. And lock targets onto Israel. Get ready to fire on my mark. Boom, boom. Beep, 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 beep. March. Next week on Spaceboy. We are aliens. We are about to conquer Earth. We will enslave the human race and shag all human females. Human females, get your tits out for the aliens. We are going to shag all of you. This week, in the continuing adventure.
Okay. And that's
How many
followers
does he have on TikTok?
Bro, on TikTok, like 10. I'm not even joking. Like, it's not.
Oh boy!
It's just him screaming about Keith Woods and doing these skits. Let's watch some more of them. Let's watch some more of them. Because I think you can tell what's serious and what's not, right? And I don't think these are even. Either.
Oh, you can tell what's serious and what's not. Then, so was that a serious one?
That was a serious. Boy, come on! You have to do this one where it's got.
Hello, friend.
Bro, you have to do the one where
okay.
Oh, that's the Arthur Shelby one.
This one.
An Arthur Shelby
Bro, are you? Come on.
I'm holding on your rope, got me 10 feet off the ground. And I'm hearing what you say, but I just can't make a sound. You tell me that you need me, then you go and cut me down. But wait, you tell me that you're sorry, didn't think I'd turn around and say that it's too late to apologize. It's too late. I said it's too late to apologize. It's way too fucking late. It's way too fucking late. Uh-oh. I take another chance, take a fall, take a shot for you. No, I wouldn't. I need you like a heart needs a beat, but it's nothing new. No, I don't. Yeah, I loved you with a fire red. Now it's turning blue. And you say, sorry like the angel, heaven let me think was you. But I'm afraid it's too fucking late to apologize. It's too fucking late. It's far too fucking late. I said it's far too fucking late to apologize. It's far too fucking late. It's far too fucking late. Ah.
What do you think to that?
Hang on, if I could, the idea that he's a comic, and like, okay, like for a comic, like let's say someone makes like an absolutely insane joke, but it's like, okay, they have an audience, it's a joke. This has 6 likes, so who's he performing this for?
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Jay in the chat's like, this is painful. He's clearly unwell. It's like, you're saying, Stephen, that even if the joke is for a very select group of people like you and 4 other Kiwi Farms fucking 5D chess terminally online people, and you'll find it funny and you'll appreciate the irony of it. Like, what's the joke here? What's the fucking? Are you seriously telling me
what's
this is
the audience? Like,
this is a well man who is.
Hold on, so this is a serious video? Then you're claiming basically.
No. I'm saying it's just like, I'm saying the guy's not really. I don't think there's any meaning to this. I feel like this is. You know what this is, Rick? You're calling it performance art. I'm saying this is a cry for help. That's what I'm saying. It is.
No, this is a warning. This is a warning to everyone who's wrong.
How long before we get the tranny arc? How long before we get the tranny arc then, Jord?
Hang on, do the one where he does Arthur Shelby or Thomas Shelby or whatever.
Yeah, do Peaky Blinders. He's got a Peaky Blinders. Is he some? Oh fuck, man.
Oh, that's on.
I'm crying, bro. I'm crying
that's
out my
eyes.
eyes.
Keith Wood supremacist video, isn't it?
Yeah.
See, I am. If his intention is to make me cry laughing, then he has succeeded because I am crying laughing. But I don't think that's how it was intended. I could be wrong.
So I think it's hard to explain, but there's a mixture of truth and comedy, isn't there? And that's the best type of comedy.
I love how insanity is not a variable in your equation. Like, you're like, it's just a mixture of truth and comedy. I'm like, what about the bit where he's a fucking box of frogs? What about that bit? Do we talk about that bit?
I don't think he's a normal person, obviously. I don't think he's like
a small concession
like average guy.
from SJJ.
Yeah, he's just an overactive drama student, isn't he?
Yes, there we go. Very well put.
Arguably more.
What's more likely that he's a drama student or a Hannibal Lecter?
Bro, I'm saying there's a fine line, right? I can think of some other artistic types throughout history that were just.
You mean he's too good by saying that? Basically, he's too good of an actor.
Can you imagine the DMs between him and Brutus? I bet they were fucking hilarious, weren't they?
Oh, yeah, I'd love to get hold of that.
Oh, dude. Speaking of old Brutus, have you heard he's doubled down on the fucking before the
Shalom from the Peaky Blinders.
Yeah, I saw his recent
the
stream.
Northerners do.
Brutal.
All right, you ready for this one? Let's go.
All right, Solomon here from the Peaky fucking Blinders. The show, not that fucking gang of ponces. Nah, right. I'm just reading over a contract here. What I want you to do is, I want you to take that fucking contract. I want you to take that fucking pen. I want you to sign your fucking name at the bottom of that fucking contract. This gives me 100% of your fucking property. You'll own nothing and you'll be fucking happy.
Right, so hold on, just pause that.
What's
there,
that?
okay?
All right,
We have a bit here. We have
You
a
don't
bit
wanna
here. This is
fucking
important.
sign
We're getting at the crux of political comedy here, right? The joke here is that Solomon from Peaky Blinders, aka the Jews, right, is somehow the great reset of like you'll own nothing and be happy about it, right? It's making a solid political point. This is a guy who's like thought about what he's done before he's gone ahead and done it. I wouldn't even be surprised if he's reading a script that he's written for the character of Solomon off this notepad. It seems a lot more formulated and cogent than whatever the fuck we watched 10 seconds ago when he had a pair of knickers on his head and he was looking into the camera and he was singing One Republic's It's Too Late to Apologize. Now, what I'm thinking, Stephen, correct me if I'm wrong here, but what I'm thinking is we might be seeing a pattern between clarity and delusion, between coherence and incoherence, something akin to, I don't know, mania. Like maybe he goes up and maybe he comes down.
Personality disorder, maybe.
Bipolar.
You have manic.
I'm not a fucking expert, but who knows? You know, like fuck me, Steve. You're like no.
He does the incredibly black pilled videos, doesn't he? And then he does like the hyper manic videos. So that would, it used to be called manic depressive.
Actually, you know what? We need to watch one of his like serious take videos after this. How much is even around on the internet still? I guess it's all still there, isn't it? It's
everything off his Odyssey on his Odyssey channel, pretty much.
So, okay,
but anyway, to make the defense,
after this, we're watching Jordan, Why I Hate Jordan, and Ed Dutton's Misses, because that is not a character.
Oi, it's Solomon from the fucking Peaky Blinders.
to thoroughly refute your claim there, Jord, and just throw it out, dismiss it out of hand. Are you saying, therefore, that the one with the knickers on the head, that he just came up with that on the spot? He was having a mental episode, or obviously he wrote that one as well.
I'm not even sure that he remembers uploading that to TikTok. And I mean,
hang on, if I could, but like the One Republic, like this right here, like George said, this has like actual like comedy value and whatnot. What's the comedy value of him singing a One Republic song with women's underwear on his head? Like, what's the comedy value of that?
I mean, it was fucking hilarious, to be fair.
No, I mean, it was like
exactly.
It's the kind of hilarious.
It was an at you funny, not a with you funny, right? Like if you stumbled upon that TikTok and you're like, oh, what? Thomas Baden-Riess has a TikTok. I wonder what he's up to. And you saw that, it's like what the fuck on God's green earth is this, right? Like it's not like a okay, whatever. Yeah. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I don't get it. Like I said, maybe it's a Gen X humor thing. Like, do you
think he studied like the Kiwi Farms, Godwinson's videos? Has he ever appealed to Godwinson? Because he seems like the sort of person that would like Godwinson's gaze upon him, doesn't he?
Godwinson, I'm surprised Godwinson hasn't made a TBR video. Actually, there's a trove of shit to Godwinson. He's like ideal candidate.
Yeah.
I just wonder whether he's this character is meant to appeal to the Kiwi Farms crowd.
Oh, Stephen, you tell us, mate.
That's a good point.
He wants to be like a Jahan's type character.
He's seeding the ground here with material for like a re-emergence.
Oh, yeah. SJJ, do you know Jahan's is?
I know he's a lol cow with tits, isn't he? Something to do with
feast on my body horror tits, you kippers. Alexander Graham Jahan's, Jord. You'll find some stuff out there.
Was he like a British Christian or something?
Yeah, kind of.
Right.
Yeah, there's like heaps and heaps of lore. I think maybe is. I mean, was he that? He obviously wasn't that successful when he went the mainstream route. So he, if you can't become famous, become infamous, right?
You might turn yourself into a lol cow, but ultimately the end result is the same. Whether you become a lol cow because Kiwi Farms picks you up organically, or whether you become a lol cow because you manufacture your lol cow status on Kiwi Farms, which is arguably actually worse, but the end result is the same. Like,
well, it's like, do you remember that Whacking Phoenix when he did the rap thing? And then it turned out to be a big gag about a year later, didn't it? Some of these people go, some of these artists go deep into it, don't they?
So some of the things we know about Thomas is he wants to be famous. He's applied to TV programs. He was on that.
Oh my god, he was on that Channel 4 thing, wasn't it? Talking about how he would never date a black girl or something. That was funny.
Yeah. He applied to be on Big Brother, I think, but never got on.
Yo, SJJ, see if you can find that. But in the meantime, play the Jordan Ed Dutton video because, like, man.
Well, he even had the Unwashed arc. What happened between him and Unwashed?
Well, I think Unwashed must have driven him to it, basically. Obviously, whatever's happened to him, we can blame Unwashed. Sorry, go ahead.
Can someone explain to me what Ed Dutton's wife has to do with this? Because Ed Dutton.
Oh man, like he was in an argument with her on Twitter, and he called out Ed Dutton for something. Ed Dutton didn't even reply. His wife replied, like, quote tweeted Thomas Baden-Riess and was like, "This is the kind of schizo that my husband, like conspiracy theorist that my husband has to deal with on a daily basis or something." And it just like completely took him over the edge. Like that was the video. You got to remember, this is the video that Steven's trying to find now. This is the last video that he ever made before going dark, and this is the video that I think says the most. And if you're telling me, in order for this video to be a skit, then at least the last 4 years of his YouTube channel have to have been like a dedicated thing for him to say all my predictions were wrong. You got to remember, this is a guy who for the 2 years leading up to this was saying the fucking world is going to end, society is going to collapse on this date. Israel's getting nuked, fucking just making some crazy predictions. Like,
well, you know, if you want to make a good script, silence is part of a good script, isn't it? You know, a silence in the right place. So that's what Going Dark. He basically conned SJJ into doing this show.
This is genius. If we're all just pawns in his game, this really is art.
We're not all pawns, John. Just you, dude.
I'm Gandalf the Grey.
You've been sucking SJJ into doing this stream.
This guy in this video, he looks like he's been living in the wilderness for 20 years and building bombs to ship the industrialists.
Steve, pull up Damien's comment, because this is the key, right? Dutton interviewed TBR. This is what we forget. Dutton interviewed TBR, and then Dutton said TBR didn't have the real maths degree and stuff. Which is where Phil got a lot of his shit from. Or well, maybe it was the other way around. Maybe Ed Dutton heard it through the grapevine from you lot. I don't know which way around it ended up coming. But the point being that he had beef to begin with Ed Dutton. The projection onto me and onto Ed Dutton's wife is the weird thing. Is this the video?
This is the video. Now, just because you mentioned his maths degree. Right. Now, I know that... so I don't want to say too much, but I know that somebody in the chat who has met him in real life claims that his maths degree is real. Okay, so there is that piece of evidence. Now, just as personal opinion, I also never believed that he had this PhD in maths. So I've always thought that was a fake, simply by the fact that he never talks about maths. You know what I mean? And like if you spend it's like your entire life is your profession is doing something. You mention it once, don't you? You talk about
what do you think about the video? What do you think about the video on the Keith Wood Supremacist channel where he claims to have invented a mathematical theorem that proves the existence of God?
That is bizarre. No, mathematical proof that Jesus Christ will return.
Because we're watching that afterwards, by the way. We're watching that afterwards, by the way. That's a fucking thing. But yeah, don't play this. I just want to show you. Actually,
if he actually does have a math degree, that honestly makes him even more crazy. Because like the most insane people always have like math.
Not a degree, a PhD, a doctorate.
The dude who invented Tartaria has like.
Oh, there we go. Dutton interviewed him and told TBR his name was fake, and that was after the Phil stuff.
But it's like. It's just the math thing. It's not like credibility. If anything, it just means that your people are very crazy on the most basic level.
All right. Hexagram 33, by the way, has outed herself. It's a real woman, by the way, in the chat here as the person who has met Thomas. And
I knew it was either Thomas.
Is she the one that got? Is she the one that got kicked into a bush?
I think she's a very lovely lady.
Or did she have the chair thrown at her in Italy?
Yeah, was she the kid who got hit with the chair? Did he make that up about himself, Stephen?
She's the one who posts memes.
That he hit a 13, 14-year-old girl with a chair. Is that what...
He wrote the Kiwi Farms thread, did.
So
You're insane, Steve.
It's got his hand all
You're
over
fucking
it.
insane. You're literally how you can run this smoke for him. I have no idea. I don't know how much Bitcoin he's sending you, but this is.
Well, okay, then let's break the Kiwi Farms down. So why did he chase the woman around the park? It's because it was about wearing a mask, wasn't it? So what happened in the Grandma's Dead video? He was wearing a mask, so obviously he wasn't that bothered about it. And that's why it's just adding to his legend. He's not consistent.
Anyway, should we what? How much of this are we going to watch?
This is like a 20-minute video. I just want to see the bit. He does like 10 minutes on Ed Dutton's wife. He does like 3 seconds on me and then goes back to slagging off Ed Dutton's wife. That's the problem. I don't know where it is in this video. But just skip to the middle. Just skip randomly to the middle. Just play it from there. Yeah, play it from there. It's perfect. Yeah.
My throat. I don't care what you want to do. I want to fight you. You fucking pussy. You fucking passive-aggressive, weak pussy. Why is it that stupid drug addict who's got nothing intelligent to say, who's never attained anything in his life, never achieved anything in his life, why the fuck?
Is this about you, Jord?
Yeah, wheel it up. Go 3 minutes back. He's talking when he calls me. What does he call me? Like a weak, passive-aggressive drug addict. Like, yeah. It's just like, I mean, bro, I don't.
But he's not wrong there.
Yeah, I'm pretty physically fit. I'm like 6'1". Like, I think me and TBR is a decent sparring match. I don't think he's fair or just or even clever to call me out in a fight here. But
he'd kick you in the nuts, Jord. Definitely.
Only because he's got that savage killer mentality, right? Like, he'd be hungry for it in the way that somebody who hasn't eaten in 4 weeks would be hungry for it. I imagine he has schizo.
No, he'd be hungry for like a heroin addict who hasn't had heroin in a week.
I'm a trained martial artist, so it really would be like skill versus insanity. So it would be an interesting fight to watch.
It'd do the real life equivalent of button mashing.
If it's going to happen, Thomas, I'll train you, dude. Okay, all right.
It would be like a train. It would be like a trained hunter versus like a rabid tiger. You know?
Yeah, quite literally. Like he would go off. And, like, he's
I'll train Thomas.
I wouldn't put him past like biting / eye gouging / like when you have to put him down quick. Otherwise, there's no saying what he's gonna do. You know what I mean?
Horseshoe in the boxing gloves.
He just comes at you like on all fours, and like his hands are spread out wide to try and like scratch.
I think he'd be like Wile E. Coyote. I think he'd have like horseshoes in the boxing gloves and stuff like that.
Yeah, he's gonna have some trick up his sleeve. But the whole thing, what I'm saying is, this thing of him, before he gets to me, which you're about to see, he spent the last 10 minutes going off at Ed Dutton's misses, and I don't really feel like this is actually about me at this point. It's more about like he's looking for someone he needs to fight. He's looking for like a clout chase fight match kind of thing. So he pivots from talking about her to very, very quickly talking about me and another person I hate. But you cannot tell me, SJJ, that this right here is not a man going off the deep end. You cannot tell me that this is chapter 9 of his. Well, maybe you can. You play it and then tell me afterwards that you think he's insane.
What's this I hear about you being out of breath walking through a field, Jord?
It's true, but that was about 18 months ago, and I would say my stamina has increased significantly.
All right, let's get into this.
You could survive a brisk walk without breathing through your ass.
I can jog now. I can jog now.
Danger to society. I fucking hate these people. So let me come on to Jordan from the meth squad. Now, listen, I really want to say, Jordan, I want to address you. I want to address you in person. I fucking hate your guts. I fucking hate your guts because you do this stupid fucking video, which is obviously you're too much of a.
All right, wait, pause it.
You're just having a passive.
There was no video about him. Okay, I just want to clarify. There was no video about him. I made a video because as you all know, in these circles, people are constantly talking about how the fact that there's going to be economic collapse or like we'll get an ethno state as soon as everything falls apart and like Yeah. And actually, I just made a video called like "The End Is Nigh." And it was about how you'll need to stop praying and hoping and wishing for collapse and actually just get the fuck on with it. And he took this video so fucking personally, dude. This is not him resorting to saying he wants to fight me is because he can't intellectualize the fact that I've gone and like, he hates me so much, but he just invited me on the show like 3 consecutive months in a row. And on the 3rd month where I disagreed with him, then he lost his shit. Like, very, very interesting. Like,
let's carry on a bit.
He did this stupid video about doomsday cults and collapse bros. He talks about collapse bros, people like me who have predicted for a while that there will be a collapse. And he talks about how, you know, all these people who are predicting a collapse are wrong, and they're just, you know, they're wannabe cult leaders with a messianic complex. And when we get our predictions wrong, we'll just make up new predictions. And Jordan is, I think he's got the brain of like a field mouse, because he's one of these people who he has to write a script in order to say anything, and then he sort of reads it back to himself. Well, Collapse Bros, well, I'm Jordan. Collapse Bros are saying this, but I'm Jordan, and I've got this really neutral voice, and I'm just going to sing like this. That's what this fucking clown is like. You fucking Jordan are a total
You cannot tell me
dummy.
that this is not a genuinely vexed man. This is a man who is
I'm
genuinely
telling you
vexed,
this.
genuinely has an axe to grind.
This is a promo for your video.
This is not.
George, this was a promo he was cutting for your video to get people to go and watch
Then
it.
why is it sandwiched? Why is it only 3 minutes of weird tangent offshoot?
Your
rant
name's in the title.
in a-
Your name's in the title.
Yeah, but I didn't. Nah.
You missed it. You didn't appreciate it. He was just cutting a promo for your video and doing it in the Bloodsport style rather than the way that. No, I've always said in the past, if you try to promo somebody else's work and you say,
Okay,
I want you
so
to
was he
go
trying
and
to
watch this
also do
person's
promo?
channel, it doesn't
Was
work.
he also trying to do
Bloodsport.
promo for Ed Dutton's missus? Was he also trying to do promo? He wanted people to go and read. He wanted people to go and read Ed Dutton's missus tweets. Is that what you get? This is ridiculous. By this logic, Stephen. By this logic.
Well,
Stephen,
I did notice his mental health took a turn for the worse after he started dealing with Brutus. So what I want to know what is in the DMs with Brutus that broke TBR.
And unwashed.
Speaking of blood,
Yeah,
sports,
the
there's
wash.
been a recent resurgence in them. For anyone who doesn't know,
Is what?
you know what? Never mind. Play the video. I'm not going to promo on this fucking stream.
Recent
Go.
resurgence for who?
Just play the video. Never mind. Go.
Oh, I think it was all about Brutus. Brutus got his channel struck down again, didn't he?
Oh, did he? Really?
I
Was
remember
it
when you
for
first
Pete-
invited me
was
on,
it
on
Pete-
It was
yeah,
a pedo one, yeah. Yeah, it was a pedo one, yeah.
your show for an interview. You
Fucking
couldn't listen
hell.
to any of the answers I gave you, which begs the question why you even went on, why you even invited me on. I felt sullied after that. So I fucking hate you. You are a passive-aggressive pussy. Why don't you just come out and say that I'm wrong and that I'm mentally ill? You have had this thing for a
personal,
while.
by the way. 'Cause
that
I did
me
get
and Keith
super
Woods
angry
are
at me
just
talking over him on stream, and I didn't mean to. It's just I was kind of like he brought up some topics which I like knew about, and I was going to forget it if I didn't say it. So a couple of times I like spoke over him, and he took that fucking. But like I'm telling you, dude, this is all real because I was on the other end of this at the time, and I remember, and it's real. And it's like if you chalk it all up to what do you call it, comedy, then he'll get away with absolute murder. I'm telling you.
But this kind of schizophrenia is not that uncommon on the right.
No, on the internet in general, and especially over here, you're right. That I don't know what it is. Like fringe ideas, fringe people, maybe, right? Like they're
Yeah.
like.
But don't you miss like the time when people would cut these kinds of response videos to one another?
What's incredibly lacking is internet blood sports. What's incredibly lacking is shots fired and all this kind of stuff. And in the spirit of that, like if he had Tupac and Biggie'd with me and sent me a DM, then I would have made a video back about him and we could have got it going. We could have got a 10 video rally out of it. But that's how you actually do stuff like that behind the scenes and try and make it funny and try and make it whatever. And it could have started really serious, and then over the course of 3 videos, everyone works out it's a joke and ha ha ha. But it's not like that. Everyone's left thinking like, was that a joke? Wasn't that a joke? Is he sane? Is he not sane? I'm kind of worried. Should I be worried? I'm being trolled here. Like it's kind of like
So what happened between TBR and Unwashed then? Was there any unpleasantness there, or did
he fell out with Brutus? Correct.
I don't know.
I think so.
I'm not sure.
Initially, I
Yeah.
think so.
Look,
and,
there is on the internet a lack of ability to detect what is good satire there. Like, just for instance, like I make a video on what I thought obvious satire video. Is Academic Agent a self-hating Jew? Okay. And right, and then I pull up the picture of Zelensky and his picture side by side and say, look at the resemblances here. His wife Cott said that he looked like. Anyway, it was an obvious satire skit. The guy took it absolutely seriously. I'm getting basically roundabout way threatened to be sued over it, and all this fucking shit. Had to take the video down.
Speaking of that, does anybody remember the one where he could have actually got sued when a Washed went off on one?
Anyway, my point
when
is...
a Washed was on Academic Agent stream and he started...
Yeah.
This
anyway,
is
my wider point.
Unwashed isn't enough of a lolcow. I mean, he is pure unmilked lolcow. Unwashed is.
Hey, I just
like his
thought
name,
I'd mention this, but
particularly
his
enjoyed
channel has
it.
gone up by 3 subscribers since this stream started. So
There you go. He's won. He's won. SJJ lost. You've been mugged off.
Yeah, that's it. That's what it was all about the whole time.
But how many subs have I gained? This is the question, because really, I've mugged Jord off by getting him to promo me on his channel, haven't I?
Yeah, I mean, it was all good. But more people need to know about this lore. This is interesting internet lore. Like, what the internet needs is more of this. It needs more of these kind of characters where you get to the bottom of it and you work out, like, you know, where is Godwinson when you need him?
He's only interested in the Yanks, though, isn't he? It's like, Ralph this and Fuentes that. It's just like, nothing bores me more than Nick Fuentes.
Yeah, I know
really
what you mean. There's a whole
interested.
ecosystem of like UK people that Godwinson should be covering. Also, Stephen Bayaki in the chat says unban him.
Yeah,
just in case you didn't know.
He promises he won't spurk out this time.
Hold on. Anyway, let's play a bit more of this.
Both two sides of the same fucking coin. We throw out our big-brained content because we've got nothing better to do with our lives. So what I want from you, Jordan, I want to fucking fight you. I'll come down to London. I will arrange. We've got a mutual in Orthodoxy Boxy. We will arrange for a fight. We'll come into a pub. We'll find a nice pub car park. We can live stream the event. First man to kill the other one wins. That's what I say. You can bring a knife. You can try and slash my throat. I don't care what you want to do. I want to fight you.
This is the bit. This is like the bit with Ralph and PPP.
Why is it?
Do you
Bring
remember
a drug addict. Who's got
the Godwinson stream?
Bring a knife,
saying
you
how the
can
fight would
slash
go.
my throat, is what he said. I mean, give me a break. Come on.
It's performance art. Look, there you go. He's proving it right now, Jord.
Mental.
Well, just to abide by the terms of service of YouTube, I think we do have to identify this as definitely performance art, even if it might
of course, for terms and conditions and all that, 100%. But
and we won't want to get him into any trouble either.
Intelligent to say who's never attained anything in his life, never achieved anything in his life. Why the fuck does he get to passively aggressively
there as well.
Tell me that I'm a fucking idiot?
He's
Fuck
never
it
worked
now.
on a porn star,
So-
has he, Jord?
That's what I wanted to say. But he. Oh, let's go back to Dutton, because Dutton. It's amazing. Dutton is talking about imposter syndrome, because I think he thinks that the only reason I got a PhD in mathematics is because I'm just a working class boy. I think that's the angle he's going for, because he can't stick me into
I don't think that's the angle
minority
Dutton was going for. I think
Has
the
anyone
angle Dutton
ever said somebody just got something because they're working class?
Yeah, what the fuck even was that? Dutton didn't say that. Dutton didn't say that you got your maths degree because you're just a poor working class boy. Dutton said you don't have a maths degree, Thomas. Dutton said that it's all a lie. It's like what?
He did a video saying his maths doctorate is fake as well, didn't he? And nobody knows if that's real or if that's a skit, basically. Because
that's the problem. You can't.
It's so serious. Doesn't all this show you though that it's everything's an act?
No, as Living the Dream says quite rightly in the chat, the hate is real and partly justified. Like, I'm not saying he's even wrong about half the shit he's saying, but he said what he is extremely angry and extremely vexed, and the emotion's real and the sentiment is real, and it's certainly not, as you suggested, some sort of arse backwards promo for my channel. What it is him like venting and having a fucking moment, you know?
I mean, the thing is, he's either an incredibly sane man who has a very silly streak running this whole thing to just for the lols, or he's got like some disorder of some kind, or like bipolar, multi-personality, something like that. Like that's.
But George, he said he loves you.
Yeah, 10 minutes ago he said he loved me. What about 10 minutes time? What about fucking, don't you get it? There's a pattern here. He loves me and then he hates me. He loves me and then he hates me. What's this one say?
You're
I don't
hot
have the time
and you're
for tonight,
cold,
I'm afraid.
You're yes and you're no. You're in and you're out. You're
Mental.
up.
And look, I'm pretty sure
I'd love it if somebody cut a promo like this.
Okay, Steven, I want to ask you a question, all right? You've never met TBR, right?
Never.
You've never met TBR.
Never spoken to him.
But you know for a fact that Hexagram33 in the chat is a verified female who has met him. So you don't know for a fact. So Hexagram 33.
I've never seen her.
SJJ,
I've never
did you
seen her on
verify
a
she was
video
female? Have you had
Yeah,
Bob's?
because he hasn't. Because Hexagram 33 is a Thomas Baden-Riess alt account, as well as Keith Wood supremacist, and he has been trolling you. Let me guess. Hexagram 33 randomly messaged you out of nowhere. Hey, I'm a fan of you. I'm also a fan of Thomas Baden-Riess. Let me guess. Is that what happened? Oh, I'm a woman. I've been a fan of Thomas for a really long time. Motherfucker, please. Fuck. This is
how much Thomas Baden-Riess checks all this stuff out, SJJ. Even though she feared Bob's, you're not going to ask for a Bob's
the
pick.
Illuminati king himself. You got psyoped so hard by an alt account called Hexagram33, claiming to be a woman. Like a woman would be autistic enough to have a username like Hexagram33. Wake up, SJJ. Wake up, SJJ. There are levels to this. There is psyops.
She's been watching my videos for like 2 years, right from the start.
Yeah, and you got played harder than anyone.
I mean, to be fair,
But George, you don't know the real conspiracy of the internet. The real conspiracy in the internet is every account is just the JMK sock account.
So they're behind every great account is JMK.
Look, it can't be him because she says I've met his parents.
What do you mean she? See how you're already indulging the delusion.
Hexagram 33. Join the VC right now.
Call in. Join in.
Yes.
Hexagram 33. Send SJJ a Bob's
The
pick.
only way that I'll concede is if Hexagram 33 joins the call, turns on camera, and it's like some fit blonde bird from the South Coast, and she's like, "Yes, Thomas stayed with me when he was writing his third book. He's just an eccentric artist." Like, I'll believe all of that. Other than that, it's a fucking TBR.
Oh, she's gonna prove it. She's gonna prove it now.
I'll send
and
you a
know
voice message on Telegram. I'm George H. Okay, well that's true.
And we know.
That makes sense why that George H. person, who I also suspected was TBR, by the way, because it was just running blind defense for TBR.
George, you kind of sound like you feel like you're being gang stalked by TBR right now.
Bruv, it's one guy.
He's sounding crazy, isn't he?
I'm sorry. By
Lewis,
the guy who wrote a book
crazy,
by the guy who wrote a book called "Why I Stalk Women." No, you must be joking.
But George,
I'm glad, Lewis, that you've noticed that George's the crazy one here.
Hang on,
hang on.
There's only three possibilities. You're the ones to fight, fuck, or eat you.
Like every app that I'm on, like I have multiple apps on it, which I use to do conspicuous amounts of tomfoolery throughout the internet. But I don't know, George. This is sounding like a little bit extreme, even for someone like me, for this kind of.
Okay, look, maybe Hexagram 33 is a real person. My point is, it doesn't matter either way. And it doesn't change the fact that Thomas is insane and probably watching from the shadows. The fact that I said, Thomas, if you're listening, and he popped up on his Keith Woods account 5 seconds later kind of demonstrates my point. I don't think I'm the schizo one here, guys, believe it. And you know what? If I, Jord of the Meth Squad, is saying, hey, I think this person might not be 100% stable, maybe you should listen to me, because it kind of takes one to know one. You know what I mean? Like, bruh, give me a fucking break.
So he'll have known about the video.
George, the thing is, he's inconsistent, but not in like a schizo mental way. Like he forgets the bit he's doing.
We can explain why he knew about the video because I've done videos about him in the past, and he's subbed to my channel. So. And it's why I did it on the SJJ channel, even knowing that it'd be risky, so that it could get taken down, get a strike on the channel for the things that he goes off on.
Phil didn't take his videos down. He got struck. The TBR is a massive striker.
Ooh, really? I believe it.
Well, to be fair, anybody could be striking Phil's videos, couldn't they? To be fair.
Yeah. But the TBR stuff, particularly, it was TBR.
Hey, you know what you guys should do? You guys should get this. There's this really great black gentleman. He's a political individual. He goes by the name of RBR. I think you should get him on here.
Real Brother Radio.
He's on.
No, you want to get if you want a black guy on, you want what's his name? The dude who used to work for Namco. It goes down Speaker's Corner. Where's all the German paraphernalia?
Yeah.
IC3, that's it. Yeah,
I already have him on Discord. Yeah.
IC3. We had IC.
He wants reparations.
He worked on Tekken 3. I don't really know that.
It's so base. Reparations for repatriation. You know, it's like you both win.
Oh yeah, pay him to fuck off.
Pretty much.
Shall we watch a bit more of this?
So I think he's going for the fact that I'm a working class boy. I got promoted above my station, and that I just can't handle. I can't handle having a PhD in mathematics because I should never have been, I should never have done one. Of course, it's really funny because Dutton, Deadwood Glutton did a PhD in religious education from the University of Aberdeen. If you're from America and you don't know about English universities, we have 3 famous universities in this country: Oxford, Cambridge, and Aberdeen. And probably Aberdeen is the most prestigious of those. It's also worth pointing out that religious education is probably the most difficult subject you can do. I always remember back at school, if you were middle class like me and you looked at your report card, you always worried about what you would get and, what grade you would get in RE. I mean, I couldn't care less what grades I got in mathematics or English or science or, these kind of subjects. I was always interested what the PE teacher had to say. So,
he's got to be in his bonnet about Edward Dutton, I think, for being a successful author as well. Okay, who also, just like he does, puts out loads of books. He's writes 3 books a year, but he's actually successful at it. So I think that's one of the things.
Okay, if, and I'm just going to give you and the TBR defenders in the chat, I'm gonna try and steel man your argument, right? Rather than trying to convince you that Thomas is batshit. I'm gonna try and do you a favor and steel man it from your end, right? So I'm assuming that one of the key points that he's trying to get across with his comedy is exactly this, right? Is that people who are kind of mid-wit idiots are rewarded with views, whereas people who are high brow intelligentsia like him are overlooked by the algorithms and by the masses, and that the real great artists are underappreciated. Like that is that a point that's trying to be made in the comedy here?
I don't know.
Yeah, see, even when I try and do you a favor, it doesn't really make sense, does it? You know what I mean?
I think they're all isolated skits, but then he's got this long running. These videos are standalone, separate. I think this is cutting a promo to you, to be honest. And then there's the Dutton stuff, Paul in there. I mean, he never fell out with you until this video, did he? And you heard about it here.
No, but on stream, we had a very awkward thing on stream where I said to him, look, it's entirely possible that the Rothschilds run the world. It's entirely possible that the Freemasons have upper layers to the Freemasons that none of us can see. But the fact that you claim to know it is kind of, it's like you have to be very sure of that. And I don't know. I can't claim to know for sure. I think it's the hubris of you knowing is kind of a lot. And I think that really checked him, and I don't think he liked it. And it kind of unraveled over the coming weeks, where he said that he'd lost faith in himself, where he said his predictions hadn't come true, where he made several videos kind of chastising himself for having got it wrong, even though I'm pretty sure nobody expected him to predict the entire geopolitical events of the world. But those videos seemed really sincere when he was really sad that his predictions were wrong and stuff. And of course, you're going to tell me that was all character, fine. But that seemed like he was dejected and downhearted. And that video that I made about the collapse bros or whatever, which, by the way, is still true. Where is the collapse? Where is the corona tail spinning the global economy? Where is World War III in the West? And all that kind of stuff. That seemed to be the final nail in the coffin. That was kind of kicking him when he was down. And it was not my intention, believe it or not. I genuinely never meant to hurt his feelings with that. It was just a trend I'd noticed. I see it in my own groups. Or saw it then in my own groups, less so now. Now they're just nihilistic as fuck. But my point is that Yeah, my point is now that he's like he took it personally. It was very personal for him.
So one of the things that always made me suspect that that he might not hold deeply sincere this like Rothschild conspiracy thing is that he never fully explained it. He never actually explained where these theories came from. He just kind of professed them as if self-evident.
No. See, I did 3-hour-long conversations with this guy on 3 separate streams about his theories and about his beliefs. During those streams, I asked him questions like, okay, how many people in the world do you believe have the knowledge of the Rothschild family and stuff to the same level as you do? And he said, with no fucking irony or sarcasm, about 100. About 100 people in the world understood what he understood.
But he never gave you any of this knowledge, did he?
No, but if you've read the protocols, wait, Lewis, 1 second, man. If you've read the protocols of the Elders of Zion, you can see,
which is all I think he's done.
Well, yeah, which is all he's done. But taking them as gospel is one thing. Like, they're a really interesting document because they might be real, they might be a forgery, they might be a fake, like a copy of something. They might have been written by Jewish people to this.
A forgery of what?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm saying, they're really interesting document, but taking them as fucking verbatim gospel proof that like a Jewish conspiracy of Rothschild family, whatever, runs the world is kind of silly. And you can believe that, but then like you have to accept that most people are not going to take the protocols as evidence. And I think if you look, his worldview doesn't stem much deeper than like, I read the protocols, no one listens to me when I tell them about the protocols. I could be wrong.
Yeah, he's never even deeply laid out what's in the protocol.
But with
why
people who are very conspiracy
verified.
minded, they very often don't need to. Like, you'll find that there are very few people interested in being like, yeah, these particular Jewish guys own BlackRock. Like, these 4 Jewish guys, I have a majority share of BlackRock. But you'll find thousands of people willing to name the Jews. Like, people are very willing to go like to where it's convenient, where it makes sense, but then no one's actually willing to go a step further. And like, with conspiracy-minded people, it's enough to say the Illuminati. It's enough to say the deep state. You don't actually have to think about who the fuck is behind anything or who's actually controlling anything. It's also not convenient, right? Because like, you have to get specific.
But he always claimed to have like this really intricate timeline planned out, whereby he was then predicting like the when said Rothschild takeover would happen and all this stuff. But he never actually like gave any verified sources for any of it. So they were just like predictions without any reason to have them, is what I'm saying. And somebody so into it would have like done like the Keith Woods style 1 hour autist video going into the depths of why he thinks this, and just like the I've got the mathematical proof of why Jesus Christ will
we have to watch
be
it.
resurrected.
Pull it up. It's one. You can tell me that this is
that
a joke,
video is 1 hour, and he never explains any of it. All he does is saying that I've got this mathematical proof. He never says why or how. All he does is say, I've got it.
If I could, about the Rothschild thing, like, to my understanding, it's been sort of like a more underground meme on apps like TikTok and iFunny for a while. But recently it's gotten very big on both of those apps. But basically, it's just memes where it's like the Rothschilds paying a family of 4 to jump in front of my truck while I'm drunk driving so I can go to jail, and just a bunch of nonsense like that. So that might just be the only basis of his conspiracy. It's just like memes he sees on
No, that iFunny shit's like new. They're doing the Rothschild meme doing the rounds on iFunny is newer than this guy's been into this stuff for years. Like, it started, conspiracies he claims started for him with Madeleine McCann. He said that was when he found out that there was like corruption, government corruption, that it was he thinks Madeleine McCann's parents sold her into a sex trafficking ring, I believe. Madeleine McCann,
the girl on The Shining.
No, she was like a very famous British girl who went missing in Portugal, like about a decade ago. And the big conspiracy was that her parents had like sold her to some elites who were doing some horrible things or whatever. And I think through that he got into the Illuminati conspiracies, and through that he got into, I guess, the JQ or whatever. And it's probably all just swirling around in his head.
Like Lucky.
Christ could return, and I have the scientific proof.
I love how you've liked this video, Stephen. You're just an enabler.
Hexagram 33 there. Oh, he's back. Praise the Lord.
Hexagram 33, you fucking simp. Like, 100% that's TBR's all. Like, God, I love how Christian's in there. Thank the Rothschilds that you're back. You'll probably see me. You'll probably see me in there.
No.
Why is K?
Thomas always
of course
replies to
K's in this comment section.
I mean, how could you miss it? I'm sure I shared this when this came out. Like.
I didn't watch it, I guess. I don't know. I don't watch all the nonsense you post. Hey, Thomas. Just play the video. Stop reading the comments.
Yeah. It's over 1 hour long.
Let me today make a video about my scientific theory, the project I've been working on for the last 4 years. And at this point in time, I have an outline proof in my head about how God
wait. The project I've been working on for the last 4 years, I have a rough outline in my head.
Exactly, George. No, exactly.
Steven.
No, George. No.
Just because it's funny doesn't mean it's intentionally comedy. Oh.
What does he think of Tartaria? I wonder.
TBR has an amazing sense of logic, and that's where he gets his ideas.
It's only 28 minutes long.
TBR, if you're watching this, post in the chat what you think of Tartaria. There's some interesting mathematical formulas.
He would love Tartaria. It's a whole rabbit hole he needs to get into. Yeah.
About how heaven exists, about how the spirit goes to heaven after death, and also about the fact that Jesus Christ will come back and save the world when it enters into peril. Now, all of those things, that probably sounds like a load of, utter crackers nonsense. And most of you are probably thinking this guy is insane, he's mad, or he's demented. But what I wanted to say is that I do think, that I have a scientific thesis in place which will explain all of those things. But it doesn't really make me happy. It doesn't make me happy, and I want to tell you why. And the first thing is that it's going to take about 20 years to publish this thesis, and to finish it, to publish it, and then to have it accepted and ratified. It'll take 20 years at least. But that's not really the main problem. The main problem is that most people don't understand science anyway. I mean, most normies don't understand science. So if I show them this proof, this scientific theory that proves all of what I've said about God or heaven or Jesus Christ, coming back from the dead, then it literally won't mean anything to them. But worse than that, most intelligent people are not capable of scientific understanding, and therefore
this is all he does for half an hour, basically, isn't it? He doesn't give any explanation about the theory whatsoever that he's got as to why Jesus Christ could return.
No, but he's saying like lay people who don't understand the knowledge of physics are incapable of understanding it. You've got Hexagram 33, who, by the way, again, I'm still convinced is Thomas in the chat saying like, no, it's a real theory. It's derived from physics. Unless the alt account Hexagram 33 is also part of this. It's now a comedy troupe. It's the Thomas Baden-Riess acting company.
If so, then Hexagram. Has she left you this voice message yet? We know that Thomas can't do voice acting.
I'm still waiting on this bullshit voice message. There's no voice message from Hexagram and Meth Chat.
If so, then Thomas has been watching my videos from like when I got like 5 viewers watching my videos.
He's probably one of your first ever. In fact, Thomas probably helped propel you using his channel. He probably got you a couple of 100 subscribers just by making videos about you back and forth. Probably doing you a favor. Probably a really nice thing to do, actually, in the scheme of things. Like, I only meant by that.
Yeah, you got
no
me
wonder
like
no wonder you're running cover for him.
In the day.
Yeah, no wonder you're running cover for him. No wonder you basically work for him. You're an employee of
Meth Squad never had me on. Meth Squad never had me on.
If I could, this is insanely impressive to have this many alts just for the purpose of I don't even know what.
Yeah, impressive is definitely one way of describing it. 100%.
Hexagram is asking, do you want the message now? I want to watch this stream.
Yeah, see, isn't this what catfishers do? Like, oh, you know, I'll definitely meet you next week. I just fucking give me a break, dude. Come on. Also, if you, I tell you what, if you're a woman who's also a physicist, and understands Thomas, why is your avatar? Pin the comment again. Why is your avatar a picture of Thomas Baden-Riess's feet? All right, explain that to me. Why is your avatar first person view of Thomas Baden-Riess's feet from Thomas Baden-Riess's perspective? Explain that to me. It's not exactly fucking rocket science, is it?
No way have I been catfished by Thomas for 2 years.
No, it was in front of you the whole time.
Give it over, I don't believe it.
And you think it's performance comedy? No, Stephen, no. The plot thickens.
You kind of gotta concede that right now. Like these accounts are like you kind of gotta concede that these aren't real people.
Yeah, no shit. Look, what do I do?
Oh my god!
On a phone, will it work? Yeah. They're your female feet. Yeah. Okay.
That doesn't look like a female's feet. I look at a lot of women's feet.
I can't wait for Thomas Baden-Riess to call in and do the voice. Who's Fordingham Black, by the way? You should probably introduce yourself.
Let's go all.
It's kind of a big deal, mate.
Okay.
Charming.
Like what science would tell me. Despite all that, I would kind of like a scientific proof that God exists. And therefore, maybe this proof that I've come up with, or I'm coming up with, which will be published in 20 years' time, maybe this will serve some purpose. Maybe it will serve some purpose for a certain section of the intelligentsia, let's say, who secretly don't want to doubt God based on science. But they kind of secretly do that a little bit, and they'd like to see some scientific proof.
What was the story?
But then again, I should repeat most of those intelligent.
He knocked some bird out on a roundabout and then got her arrested. Was that it?
Yeah, SJJ, explain it.
I've no idea. No idea.
Okay.
He wrote the Kiwi Farms thread himself. I'm convinced of it.
Okay, well, if that's the case, then he is also Hexagram 33 in the chat right now.
I really don't know that much about this guy. What is the TLDR on this guy?
Hold on, Hexagram 33 is going to come on.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated.
Right now.
Lewis, when you said something was going to happen on this stream, it was going to be good.
I know. I'm telling you, something good is going to happen.
This stream had good energy.
This is going to be like his wife or like his child or something. Or no, the woman.
She's going to switch the camera on.
No. The woman he keeps locked up in his basement. This is going to be her.
She's going to switch the camera. Yeah. And it's going to be Thomas in fishnets, isn't it?
With the fishnets over his head.
I mean, he just starts singing like an Imagine Dragons song or something. I'm waking up. Ash. Yeah.
If so, I was catfished for 2 years.
I can't believe you're still struggling with it. I genuinely can't believe you thought you were talking to a woman this whole time. You've been talking to Thomas.
No. Look, man, this whole time, have you ever heard this woman's voice?
Bro, I could have fucking called this so quickly. Like, holy shit.
Here we go. Is SJJ going to be proven right? Oh, let's go.
Oh my god, it's actually a female.
Welcome to the channel. Hexagram 33. Let's go.
Hello.
Look,
you won't think I'm female because I've got quite a deep voice.
No, you pass.
Yeah,
you pass.
We believe you with the.
We believe you now. You're not Thomas.
Okay, wait, no, because hold on, the plot thickens. This is such an insane twist and turn. Okay, I'm kind of relieved to know that you're
schizophrenic, George.
I can't hear what you're saying. Oh, right.
That's a tranny, fellas.
Stop it. Oh, I'll kick you.
I have a couple of questions.
My ex He claimed he didn't like it with all makeup because I look like a chimney. That is true. But I'm not.
Hey, listen, I have a couple of questions about Thomas Baden-Riess and your relationship with.
Did you go to Marlborough?
Did I go? No, I didn't go to Marlborough. Okay, so are you friends with Thomas in real life? I can't hear what she's saying. Can you guys hear what she's saying?
Can't understand.
So your audio is a bit difficult because you're on your phone.
Yeah.
I won't.
No, it might just be easier to put the phone down maybe because might be covering me.
I'll mute everybody else. Jord.
Oh, sorry, you muted yourself there, mate. What did you say?
I said question Hexagram 33. Go ahead.
Oh, right. So your name's Georgie. Hi, Georgie. Nice to meet you. My name's Jordan. Everyone calls me Jord. You're a real life friend of TBR's, correct?
Yes.
And are you also a conspiracy theorist?
I believe everything that Thomas believes. He's the most intelligent person I've ever met in my entire life. And it's really, really difficult to get out of him what he actually thinks. And I've talked to him and I've talked to him and I've talked to him and I've asked him questions and I've asked him to repeat what he means. And he can never understand why people don't understand what he's saying because he thinks that he's just saying it really clearly. And I say, but you don't label your videos. People don't know what's satire and what isn't satire. You don't explain things. And then it just gets cross because he does explain things. But he is so clever. But the thing is, he works things out using logic. And the way the human brain works is we think we're being logical, but we don't. We get distracted by all these psychological things, like all the kind of sensory stuff that's in our brain. So, for instance, like with the 9/11, I mean, there was a passport found on the ground. I mean, that one thing tells you that there's something strange going on, that this passport fell out of the plane onto the ground. But most people, they just kind of block it out because they don't want to believe that. They want to, we're kind of built to believe what we want to believe and not to believe the unknown. And we're very, very scared. We're group animals, so everybody wants to be part of the group. Nobody wants to be outcast from the group. So our mind plays tricks on us and lets us believe things that aren't true because we want to believe them. And Thomas doesn't do that. He just goes with the logic every time. And when he explains, I'll give you a really simple example because when I first started talking to him, and I didn't believe he had a PhD, and I watched all his videos over and over again. And I came across this video on the internet where he's interviewed by some idiot Irishman about 9/11. And right at the beginning of the interview, Thomas says, I'm going to disprove the mainstream theory, but that doesn't mean that I have to provide an alternative theory. Now, if you think about that, we're all programmed to think that we can't let go of a theory unless we've got an alternative theory. We do it automatically. We don't think about it. And he kept trying to explain it to this guy, and the guy just couldn't grasp it. He was assuming that in order for Thomas to disprove the mainstream theory, he had to come up with another theory, and that's simply not true. It just absolutely is not true. But
I understand what you're saying. I think I get what you're saying. And Thomas is, I think the distinction of saying that Thomas is an intensely rational and logical person as opposed to an emotional person is definitely a really good way of like characterizing it and explaining it. Can you speak a little bit to what Stephen's been talking about with regards to many of Thomas's videos being satire or comedy? Do you believe that you can tell when it's a joke and when it's not?
I can't, but I've watched them over and over again, so I now know. Because I've talked to him. So all the Kiwi Farms, they're all satire. There's one video, which is one of my favorite videos, where he's wearing a suit and he starts the video off by saying, I've just come back from a 10-kilometer run. And somebody in the chat says, "Oh, LOL. Yes, I always put a suit on when I come back from a 10 kilometer run." It's so easy to watch that video, and it's like I'm saying, your mind just doesn't.
Those videos, see, for me, I think I can make a very clear distinction. I think I watch Thomas's stuff, and I know when he's having a monologue about a serious conspiracy theory and when he's having a joke. And I think I knew the Kiwi Farms things were a joke. I think the initial thing that they were kicked off by, him being offended about his PhD being not real, or people thinking his PhD wasn't real or whatever, I don't think that was a joke. I'm trying to get to the bottom of that, really, of the kind of like what's real and what's not. Like, for example, I agree with you, by the way, about 9/11, at least that the official theory doesn't make sense. I just like, for example, Thomas's rationality and logic screams like severe levels of autism to me. Like, if someone can't understand other people's emotions, process emotions, deal with people, like accept that life is that people are emotional herd animals, that seems to be like a dysgenic, like a social problem that person has, right?
Yeah. So, he is autistic.
So Thomas is like an autistic, eccentric genius. Like, do you
He's
think
not
if he showed you? Go on.
He's not. You know, when people say autistic, that there's different kinds of autism. He's so complex. You really have to meet him and get to know him, because he can behave. I mean, he's incredibly. When you meet him, he's softly spoken. He's incredibly gentlemanly. He's the nicest person you'd ever want to meet, but he has got a temper, and he can flip and lose his temper, and then he'll apologize. And he's just got so much going on in his head in terms of understanding the world, and he sees stuff that nobody else sees.
And
he's amazing.
How many years have you known Tom for?
I had my first telephone conversation with him on the 12th of December, 2021. And then I went up and stayed with him in March. No, 2020. Yeah, 2021. Then I went and stayed with him in March 2020. I'm a bit autistic as well. So there's I don't know if I should tell you. I don't know if he minds me telling you where he lives. I don't know.
No, don't dox him. Don't.
But there's N1, N2, and N3, and S1 and S2. So I've stayed with him 5 times. So he actually has 2 locations where he lives, and he's upper middle class. You know, his family have money.
Yeah, don't say anything that he wouldn't want you to tell us. But I'd just like to say thank you for coming on, by the way. And George, SJJ vindicated here. Not only...
No, unfortunately, not at all. Like, what you're listening
No.
In the trial here, we've had exhibits A and B back and forth.
She kind of vindicated that you're like a paranoid schizophrenic.
Well, like, yeah, me being schizo was not what was to be discussed here. And I'll accept that I was way paranoid. But although, hold on a second. If you have Thomas, a guy who's obsessed with, like, Illuminati and stuff, who talks a lot about, and then you have somebody who is in all his chats, hexagram 33. Come on, excuse me for making the huge jump that you might be Thomas, all right? Outside of that,
so SJJ vindicated.
No, you're vindicated.
Also, the Kiwi Farm stuff was satire, complex satire,
and the Kiwi Farm stuff. But you still can't prove that it was him that wrote the Kiwi Farms thing. Even if he told you and he told this lovely lady here, it doesn't make it necessarily 100% true.
George,
I'm saying that he could be rewriting this stuff.
You've
in his
overstretched
head
yourself, George. You've discredited yourself.
Listen, you're vindicated. You're vindicated on that. What you're not vindicated on is comedy.
George is great, but you did go to public school, didn't you?
Yeah, obviously, but like you're not vindicated on the idea of what do you call it? It being all comedy, it all being satire. You're not like that's. No,
I think I've always said I think he has genuine beliefs, and it's a mixture. He obviously mixes the comedy in with then his internet stuff. He's got into this internet scene, but he also does these skits in with it, and like that. The point that I was making from the start was that the complexity of the satire, which was the at least 3 videos back to back, or was it 4? I think the first one was Thomas Baden-Riess is a fake name and a Jew or something. That video.
Video, yeah.
Then the lawsuit against Kiwi Farms. My grand's died of COVID. I'm outside the hospital here. all that trilogy there shows a deep complexity of commitment to be able to commit satire, where people can't get it. It's kind of so
No, but this is the thing.
well acted out.
You're acting like I'm being like, oh my god, that satire was so intelligent. I couldn't understand the Kiwi. No, dude, I understood at the time when it was happening. In fact, there was even a bit where I went on the stream and I was like, well played on the Kiwi Farms thing. You made fun of yourself before they could make fun of you. The bit we're disagreeing about is that satire, that 3-video back-to-back satire trilogy that you guys like, such an epic commitment to satire. No, dude, that was triggered by something. That was triggered by Phil, and the 37 gang giving TBR shit for like a month, and it was triggered by and I don't know.
Yeah, but he won. He won in the end because he trolled them.
Quite possibly, the troller became the trollee. That could be true, but it doesn't. My point is that I think you're looking at his video repertoire, his videography, if you like, and you're ascribing to bits that are genuine moments of you might call them comedy. I'm sure Hexagram 33 here would call them genius, and I would call them delusion. But they're the same things happening. He's having these moments where you're like, oh, it's such a funny joke, and she's like, oh my god, he's a genius, and I'm like, no, the guy's mental. But how the same
it's like my channel, right? I am like a super dollar store.
Hexagram, tell us about
this theory. I'm a dollar store. I'm a dollar store TBR in that I do something similar where I do skits and satire things, and I don't name them as skits and satire. When I do like when I did Academic Agent is a self-hating Jew, and I nearly got sued for it.
Could you tell us about this theory that is rooted in physics? Obviously, we're not going to understand because we're lay people. We're just midwits here, of course. We're not as intelligent as you and Thomas. But could you briefly explain Thomas's theory that proves Jesus Christ is coming back from a mathematical perspective? Because you see, this is a great example. Stephen's giggling away like a schoolgirl because for Stephen it's comedy. You're about to launch into a serious diatribe about how Thomas is a mathematical, logical genius. And at the end of it, I'm going to tell you both that Thomas is batshit crazy. Please continue.
Well, I will, but firstly, I'll just say that when he wrote the piece on Kiwi Farms, he did that because he didn't want people going to Reading University and finding out his real name from the PhD. But since then, the PhD has been put in the name of Thomas Baden-Riess. So anyway, so the thesis that I'm really on, dangerous ground because he doesn't want the thesis getting out because it's a thesis. It would be like Darwin telling you what his thesis is. So, and I have read some of it and I understand some of it. I don't understand all of it, but I really would be reluctant to say even what I know.
That discredits SJJ. That discredits.
Yes, this is my whole fucking point, Lewis. Thank you. You can confirm that the thesis is real. He really does think that he has a unified theory of everything in mathematics, and that he can prove using mathematics that God is real and that Christ will return, and that it is not, as Stephen suggests, some sort of elaborate comedy bit.
Well, I'll tell you this: that in part of the I read.
Yes or no? Is the math thing a joke? Yes or no?
Is what? Is what a joke?
Is
the thesis a joke? You've read the thesis.
Is the math to predict Jesus a joke? Is it a joke? Is he making a joke of it, or is it something?
No, it's a joke.
Boom. Here we go. Arrest me. You're on. I rest my case.
All right, I'm willing to be wrong about that part.
But
hang on. But if someone genuinely believes that they have a mathematical formula to predict the return of Jesus, that's like cult-like behavior of extreme delusion. Like anyone who says they can predict when Jesus comes back due to any formula, prophecy, whatever, that goes directly against what it says in the Bible. So it's contradicting the already established religious text. To fucking didn't those people in Waco think they knew Jesus was coming back at this date? This is just cult shit.
Anyway, let's not get into theology here. When
people start predicting the day when Jesus comes back, it turns into cults. That's what.
Yes, Hexagram. Hexagram, go ahead. We'll all stop talking.
Thomas isn't predicting the day that when Jesus will come back, and it's not based on a mathematical formula. It's based on a theory of how the universe works, which starts from the basics of physics, because his PhD, it's maths, but it's kind of physics. It's about scattering on rough surfaces. And, you know, you're talking about the microscopic level. So it's about how energies behave, how these tiny, tiny microscopic things, how the universe is linked together through energy. So it's not a formula that predicts when Jesus will come back. It's a way of describing the universe. But he says at the beginning of it, because he sort of talks to the reader when he writes it, and he says in it that, you know, this is his thesis, and people will come along in the future and they will put forward a different thesis, you know, exactly the same as is happening with Darwinism. That is the reality of science. People come up with theories, and then other people come along and they develop the theories, or the theories change. So we never do actually know how the universe works. But what these very clever people do is they try and find a way of describing to us how the universe might work.
And when, like, I completely understand what you're saying. When someone explained evolution to me for the first time, so many pennies dropped for me, where I was like, wow, this may, and I know that Darwinian evolution isn't even the current model, or we have slight variation of that, but just the idea in principle made so much sense to me. Are you saying that when you read Thomas's thesis, even though you couldn't understand some of it or much of it, like a penny drop moment happened and you were like, oh, I see what this guy's trying to say. It makes sense. There's some cohesive thing behind it. Right.
My God, the first thing that he said to me, and I don't know if I could say this to you, I don't think I could, but, and this was before I'd ever met him, but he just told me this one thing from the thesis. And I thought, oh my fucking God, that is so true. And it's to do with trees, and it just makes you change the way you look at trees, and you just see trees in a different way. And I thought, yeah, he's right. We've been looking at trees wrong.
Yeah, okay. I've heard shit like this before about fractals and stuff, and it's great and everything, but like, I mean, fucking hell. I just like, okay, right, great, fantastic.
Let me ask something here. Do you have any information about what like what I call the promos that Thomas cuts on, like Jord, where Jord thinks that it's really serious and he's worried that Thomas is sharpening an axe and coming for him to chop his head off, and that, or do you think that is the way of like cutting a promo? It's just
crazy how in the beef that I have with the guy who clearly exhibits signs of he may very well be a comedic genius, but definitely exhibits clear signs of mental illness and mania. I love how I'm the paranoid one. Like seriously, I love that. If you actually think about it, like that's funny.
SLJ, do you genuinely believe that this individual is simultaneously running an elaborate troll comedy on the internet, as well as developing complicated theories for how the universe works?
He's a polymath. He's an absolute polymath.
Do you actually believe that this is like what he's doing?
I think he trolls the whole world. I mean, if you're that intelligent, what do you do to entertain yourself? Because everybody you talk to is less intelligent than you. So yes, he does. He trolls everybody because he's one step ahead. So,
except if everyone he talks to is less intelligent than him, then why? Like, he can't be that intelligent, right? Like, there's a bell curve on IQ where, like, you can have 160 IQ, but if you can't communicate to a guy who's 100 IQ and explain it in simple terms in a way that he can understand, how fucking useful is your genius, like, anyway? There's a point where you can literally retard yourself out of civilized society by being too good. It's too smart for your own good, too big for your own boots. Like, I'm saying that, like, maybe Thomas is this eccentric genius, but what he seems to be is a guy who's deleted his internet persona, gone dark for 2 years because he couldn't really take.
It's only hidden it.
Okay, whatever. Like, he could, like, all right.
He can come back at any time.
I think he's nuts. I think he invested way too much in his own predictions about personal geopolitics. I think he's taken some time away, which is a good thing. And I think the fact that he's now trying to solve the world's problems using theories of physics and mathematics is fantastic. But I think that might also be like a bit of a dead end as well. I think it's great that there are some people who are fans of Thomas who claim to understand it. But I think, you know, like creator, like fans, Hexagram 33, no offense, you may also be a little bit mental. Like, you know, there is this, like, I don't know, like, I just fucking, it just seems nuts to me. absolutely fucking nuts to me. I think we are confusing. You know what I've learned in life, and this is a real fucking harsh truth that I think we all have to face at some point, is that real skill or hard work or intelligence or patience or dedication will never get you as far as just like delusional levels of like self-grandeur and narcissism. And you can really attract some fans along the way by just being delusionally narcissistic and thinking that you have the answer to everything. I wouldn't be surprised if this is Thomas Baden-Riess's flatmate that we're talking to right now. I would caution everyone to just not fucking put hope in this guy's theory.
So everything has played out to be correct. From Hexagram started talking to me under my videos about probably 2 years ago now, from when I started playing Leonard Cohen videos when I was working out, and I played some Leonard Cohen stuff, and I remember that was years ago. And it's turned out not to be Thomas Baden-Riess. It's turned out to be a real woman right here. So who knows Thomas? Proving it right here.
Yeah, I mean, she's proven me right. She's proven that Thomas is in earnest, that he is that he is sincere, that he really does think himself this level of genius, of misunderstood genius that no one could possibly understand. Thomas really does believe that he's one of 100 people in the world who understands how the inner workings of the Rothschild family operate. She's proven absolutely beyond reasonable doubt that Thomas is not a comedic genius, that he does satire sometimes, and it's actually very confusing because the water is muddy and he doesn't even really know when he's half joking. Yeah, she's cleared up a lot of stuff. What she hasn't done is vindicate you or your position that this is all some sort of stand-up comedy. Because
the thing is, Jord was wrong about her being like an alt of his. But
everything else I was right about. Literally,
but like you're wrong
Let's hear from
about him,
Hex.
like being you're wrong about him just being like a troll account. It's like, you said the Jesus thing was just the joke, and she's saying
the Jesus thing is very real.
serious.
As are all his political
I'm not
theories, as is his anger towards me and Ed Dutton.
Okay.
As is everything.
It's like you
I've
said
not
it was
met
a joke.
him.
You literally said it.
I've not met him, and so I'm not. I'll just be straight up here. And Hexagram was correcting me, shouting about it in the chat earlier that I didn't believe her, but I've not met him, so I am not yet convinced that, for instance, he has a PhD in maths, or that he has a great theory. But Hexagram is here countering that. I'm willing to say I might be wrong about that. Go ahead, Hex.
Well, Jord is just on a completely different wavelength from Thomas. I mean, Jord is you're really in the material world. You're very, very practical. You understand marketing. I mean, the videos, the documentaries you did when you went to. Did you go to Holland and did a documentary over there?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. I wouldn't call it a documentary. But I mean,
I think you're going to carry on doing documentaries. I mean, your documentaries are really, really good, because when you do your live streams, you don't kind of talk fluently. But when you did those documentaries, you were just fluent and serious and authoritative, and you had gravitas. And I thought, he's brilliant. So I want to see more documentaries like you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
What is going on? Go all over Europe and document the collapse of civilization for Thomas, because that's not something that he'd be able to do, because he's not on that plane.
And Thomas can show us when Jesus will come back to save us all from the Antichrist.
He can't show us when, he can show us how. He can show us how it would be possible.
But yeah, look, I like having fluid live streams because they're more real and they're more authentic. And I actually don't like people who pretend. What I'm sick of is people pretending to be authoritative and know things when really none of us know what the fuck is going on. That's why everything is so confusing. What YouTube needs a lot less of is people standing up pretending to be Billy Big Bollocks and have the quantum theory of everything in their back pocket. So actually, whilst I appreciate your compliments with regards to documentary filmmaking, it's extremely expensive to go all over Europe documenting the collapse of Western civilization. So I tend to just make stuff in my bedroom like everyone else. As for Thomas, he's a fucking Fruit Loop, and I would caution you to stay away from Fruit Loops, because Fruit Loopism seems to be contagious. Practicality versus I don't know what you'd call it.
But shouldn't we as a movement be trying to get some fundraising going so that each to their specialism? If you're good at making documentaries,
part of my meta-political journey over the last 2.5 years has been very harshly waking up to the realization that there is no movement. What there is a bunch of people making noise on the internet. And it's very unfortunate that it can't galvanize in real life. It's very unfortunate that Le Bon was correct and that everyone's atomized and it's hard. You know, I'm sorry about that, but there's no internet personality is going to save us. Look no further than Nick Fuentes if you want to see where that gets you. But yeah.
Well, it's, having the documentaries that we can give to our.
But SJJ, you have to concede now that like a lot of what he does isn't like a joking thing. It's like he thinks he's like a puppet master who's like, I don't even know what, putting on a show for the normies, while he's serious about a lot of what he's doing, honestly.
And living the dream in the chat, who's been trying to bait me for the last 20 minutes. Ditch the incel savior arc at least, bruv. I think if I can save 10 incels from being genetic dead ends, that's more useful than making endless documentaries about demographic replacement and we're all being demographic. If I can get 10 guys to find a wife and have big families and make nice businesses and hire their own people and look after their own family, then I've done more for this movement, quote unquote, than you'll do from sitting spamming in that live chat. So how about I don't ditch my save the incel arc? How about I double down on that and I save more fucking incels and I get more incels some pussy and you go fuck yourself? How does that sound?
I'm going to go. You boys want to chat?
Thank you for coming.
Yes,
I would really like
you cleared up a lot for us.
You, Stephen, but I think I'm worried that if I meet you, Stephen, you're going to spend the whole time scratching.
What do you mean?
You did those videos. You just started scratching all the time.
Oh, I've got ADHD. I've got clinical ADHD. That's the issue.
I'm worried that if I meet you, that you'll get ADHD and you just start scratching and you'll be kind of.
Yeah, well, it's true. I'm a clinical ADHD who's off his meds. I don't take drugs.
TBR come along, and you come along and meet him, but I don't know if he would turn up. But so anyway, yes, you boys have got lots to talk about, and thank you for letting me come on and talk to you.
No, it was actually unironically, it was really nice to hear from you, and I stand corrected. You're clearly not Thomas in disguise. So
thank you for coming. Appreciate you.
And I think you're great. I think you're all great. I have no idea what to do now. I'll put my glasses on. I expect I have to press something, do I?
Would you like me to do? Kick you?
Probably the big X.
It says you're in the show. Everyone. Oh, I'll just minimize it, and then it will go off the internet, won't it?
I'll kick you.
Bye,
so
everyone.
Definitely.
Lovely.
Lovely to meet you. Yeah.
You genius.
Thank you very much.
Anyway, I've got to go as well because I need to go. I have to get some fucking sleep. I've got a big day tomorrow. This was fascinating. I'm really glad that we did this. She was actually a really interesting guest. Maybe this will mark the return of TBR. Maybe
And hey, TBR, if you are in the chat, which you probably are, or one of your cronies.
What do you mean probably? Give me whatever.
Either he's in the chat or one of his cronies is in the chat. On your alt account on Telegram, the Brian one, I have DM'd you. Please open your DMs. My DMs is Lewis Wayne. It's the Warhammer 40,000 profile picture. Click on the DMs, open it. I just want to talk to you. It's really.
He's trying to get you onto the Blood Sports channel, Thomas.
Listen,
I know what's going on here.
A new channel. Okay, it's
called. They're already stealing my talent, Claire Core and Vincent Bruno.
No. You guys come up with some great stuff, but you don't.
You can come on too, man. I'll drop a fucking.
You 100% should come on. All of you should come on. It's called UAC or Ultimate Autism Championships. You can find it by searching for it. We're gonna take the best of the Kino, creme of the creme de la creme. Cream of the crop of the Kino lolcows, and we're going to pitch them against each other 1v1, debaters, rhetoricians, complete, like if TBR could make his return, this would be the place to do it. I think you can find it by searching for it, right, Lewis?
Yeah,
Ultimate Autism Championship.
Yeah, look up the Ultimate Autism Championship. It should be the first.
Blood Sports is back, boy.
3 subscribers, but here, look. SJJ, you seem like a very interesting guy. I dropped a link to a Telegram chat in the back chat for this. You should join that. Or if you don't have Telegram, we have a Discord too.
Is it George's channel? I'm in that.
No, it has nothing to do with me. The Ultimate Autism Championship is a private organization. It doesn't take any funding from individuals.
Believe it or not, I already advertised your channel the other day.
We're a bit of a we do things like. We believe in the right of the people, so it's like we don't have a leader. We just have like 5 people who help us. We believe in the people owning the means of production and the people producing things. Yes, it makes things incredibly slow, But we believe in Karl Marx's economic theory, so
this is where it's
that's what you
all
need to
gonna
know.
go down. Okay, you want to see Wignats debate Zionists. You want to see fucking militant transgenders debate people who don't even believe gender exists. You want to see fucking disabled people debate eugenicists. You're right. You want to see people who believe that people with serious inheritable disabilities should not have the right to reproduce. Debate with people with Down syndrome. It's happening on this channel. Okay.
Hang on, you want to see someone who thinks the Earth is flat and also hollow? Like we'll upload that one.
Yeah, there's only one place on the internet where you can find this. TBR, don't strike this channel down. Okay, it's just a joke. All right, chill.
TBR. Yeah.
Is
TBR,
everybody subscribed?
Honestly, TBR.
Is everybody subscribed to me, by the way?
Like a
Do it.
Funny guy, honest. Yeah, I'm already subscribed to you. Yes, I'm already subscribed to you.
Do it, everybody.
And this is what the movement needs: a good gut check, a good cleansing, a good testing in the fire of everybody's ideas, a good place for a place where and we want it to be like, you know, real like what do you call it? Class systems, weight categories. Why has the term gone out of my head? Weight classes. We want lightweights to debate lightweights. Okay, we want middleweights to debate middleweights. We want featherweights to debate. Because we want to pitch the best against the best. So Claire Core is not just going to go in there against anyone. Claire Core is going to go in there against the best of the best.
No, Claire Call. We already did an episode with Claire Call. It's being edited right now.
Listen, the issue is though, you've got to do it live. I know you're doing it recorded. If you don't do it live,
the first few are going to be recorded just to get the momentum up there. But we need to. You're right.
Okay.
Eventually, live is the only solution. It just needs. When you see the format, you're going to see there's a lot of production value involved. So we just need a little bit of time to get that.
We prefer to do as few live as possible because these things get very heated and
It's the big ones that have to be. It's the big ones that have to be live, but they have to be archived somewhere else. That's the problem. You can't leave them live.
You can take them down and re-up them, edited.
Oh yeah. What we'll do is we'll do them live. We'll take them down and then we'll re-upload them with the shit taken out of them. It's
got to do it live to get the engagement.
The episode we just uploaded was like Pilu Be Lucky, and they spent like 20 minutes talking about how much they hate gay people. But none of them used the term gay or homosexual. They just used the F word, and they talked about how much they want to kill them. So,
it's probably not a good idea to have people who are supposed to be against each other agreeing on stuff. That's probably not good.
It was the only thing they really agreed on, though.
But yeah, look, if you enjoy human bear baiting, this is the channel for you.
Bear baiting. Yeah.
Anyway, whilst we're fanning George's balls, I'd just like to also build upon what Hexagram 33 said. You actually are good at doing those things, like that thing in Europe that you did where you went to the Netherlands thing. That was a good video. You are a good filmmaker, so you should try and take some time to do more of that.
Yeah, maybe. All right. Well, look, it's good talking to you. I'll speak to you people soon.
SJJ, I dropped the Telegram and the Discord in the chat. I don't know what you have, but join one of those.
All right, I'll probably do that. I'll do it.
All right, Mark.
All right, shall we get out of here?
Do you have some sort of outro to play us out? Usually you have some kind of on-point outro.
Hey, by the way, your opening song was hilarious, by the way. That was
he does good. He's got good, yeah.
That's genuinely hilarious.
Well, let's just repeat it. For half the people haven't seen it. Let's just go back out to it. All right.
All right, mate. I'll see you later.
Adios, everybody. Thank you for being here. I appreciate
Remember
you.
the Alamo.
We want to get into the Illuminati because we want to get invited to the coolest parties by subtly communicating hidden symbology. Soon we'll be part of a secret society. Hollywood would open up its doors for us. We'll meet the inner circle of executives. We'll give a guy a wristy in a warm jacuzzi, and the guy will put us in a Disney movie. Then they'll play our music on MTV. We'll be given designer clothes for free, and we can drive everywhere DUI because we'll be under the protection of the all-seeing eye. And we'll never have to worry about bills again because the Rockefeller family will be our best friends. We'll fuck a squirrel and finger a fish and triangle, eye, pyramid.
You can be rich and famous too.
I love the establishment. Yay! We want want to get into the Illuminati, and we want to hang out with Jay-Z and Beyonce. We want to sell our souls in a billion records and bow before our reptilian overlords. Then the enlightened few will bring us into the fold, where we'll be told secrets of old, like why the CIA killed JFK and why on earth the moon landing was fake. Being Illuminati will be so much fun. We'll learn the truth about Area 51. They'll tell us where Flight MH370 is and which politicians like to fuck kids. We'll get 1 million followers on Instagram. We'll have the whole wide world in our hands. The Rothschilds will take us to Bohemian Grove, where it's likely that we'll both be murdered and cloned. Let's manipulate the economy. War is good for humanity. We'll be given the keys to unlock the Bible, and we'll become Lucifer's loyal disciples. We'll pray to Baphomet and the princes of hell. We'll bathe in pig's blood and cut ourselves
under the blood moon, beneath Saturn's radiant energy, before the Dark Lord Lucifer himself. I invoke the 4 crown princes of hell, inviting the forces of darkness to bestow their knowledge and power upon me. I, your faithful servant, promise to hide triangles in things, perform at the Grammys and tell people the earth is round. From this day forth, I'll do whatever it takes to thwart globalism, multinational corporations, the establishment, and the military-industrial complex. I love fracking, it's the best. Let's go for some pizza. What flavor? Kitty flavor. We're gonna get assassinated for making this video.
More like initiated.